What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Good evening. Yeah, it's a little late. Y'all get on in here and let's get going. I do have to get up early in the morning. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Welcome into the LLC. We got some things we got to look at, check out, and go over. Some more tax forms to go over. Candace, I told you, Heifer. I was going to go over that so-called, what it was, this Olympic Media LLC tax document. Yeah, I got it. It's an LLC. It's a nonprofit, so it's on ProPublica.org website. And this is going to be fun. Y'all, we have some stuff lined up you guys for this show. I'm excited. How y'all doing? What's going on? Shout out to all the members, to my mods. I have the best mods on YouTube. And I bless God for it. I appreciate my mods. They hold it down in the chat. It doesn't get any better than this. I have so many emails I have to read. I think I got a couple in so far, and I have not been able to check my email today. So you guys, please bear with me and give me till tomorrow to go through my emails and stuff and respond to you all, because I want to be able to do that and look at some of the information you guys are sending me, links and all these things. So I want to be able to do that right. But I more than likely after the live stream tonight, I'm going straight to bed because I have to get up in the morning. I still have a regular job, and I'm still waiting on Israeli Prime Minister to send me $7,000. It's not a threat for me to get a check for $7,000. That does not threaten me at all. My feelings will not be hurt if somebody gave me $7,000. Shout out to all of you all. So give me some time to go through my emails and stuff and get that squared away. In the meantime, we have a couple videos to check out. There's a video that was posted up from this young man that, you know, as if Candace ever told the truth about these planes. This heifer went out and had a 4.5 hour conversation with Eric Kirk today. I hope somebody recorded that conversation. You know, just please just signal Erica that you recorded it. No one has to trust Candace at anything. You know this heifer lies like hell. Candace, you lie like hell is hot, girl. I hope Erica recorded. It's a one-party consent state in Arizona. No one owes her any permission or anything. They can just do it. You can't make this up. So hopefully, whatever comes out of this, like if Erica beats Candace to putting out a video of what occurred in that meeting, even better. But if Candace goes first, who knows? Because, you know, she got a cult. They already believe everything she says. Just like with these planes. Candace, you didn't have any intel on these planes. You wouldn't even go over the black box data for these planes. How many times did I question whether or not these planes even real? I even asked for photos of these planes. Video footage of them taking off or landing. Something. This hairy person, when he gonna come forward? You know, her cult members and bots said that this hairy person was gonna come out into the limelight. Candace, we're waiting. All this stuff she's been saying for 3.5, 4 months. You're supposed to just dissipate in the wind because she had one conversation. She had a 4.5 hour conversation with Erica Kirk to combat 3.5, almost 4 months of bullshit she's been putting out. Make that make sense. You would think this conversation would happen over 3 or 4 days. Erica, I hope you recorded that damn conversation, girl. If not, you're going to have a heck of a time getting people to believe half of what was said in there, because Candace already got cult members. She could say the sky is purple like Barney the dinosaur that she doesn't believe in. And then they're going to say, oh, yes, I do see Barney in the clouds. I love you. And then next thing you know, they'll be singing the Barney songs, looking up in the sky, waiting for it to fall. Like, that's how gullible they are. So Erica has to get ahead of it. She needs to be the first one to drop something to say, here's what we discussed, and here's evidence. She came to us with these colorful charts and graphs of flags from different countries. Still confused about Africa being a continent. Like she's gonna have to get ahead of it if she wants to really put forth what really occurred in this meeting. Because otherwise, Candace's imagination is gonna run wild as it always does because she's an alien. We're still waiting on her imaginary friend Harry Meyer to come to life. And I'm nervous about that. Candace, when you claim to be an alien, I don't want any of your imaginary friends to manifest themselves. Keep them jokers to yourself. Whoever this Harry Meyer is, just keep him inside. You can't make this up. I'm on one tonight, y'all. I am on one tonight. Yeah, lady, look, going in already. Yeah, I am. Can't make this up. All right, what's going on, Francisco? How you doing, honey? Shout out to everybody in the UK, Australia, sending our love and prayers over there. There was a horrible event that occurred. People lost their lives. No one has the right to take a life, period, for any reason. Unless you're exercising a death penalty and a jury has found that the death penalty is warranted based on facts and evidence in the law. You don't just walk around executing people. I mean, it's crazy. Right before Christmas coming up. Well, they celebrated Hanukkah. These people were Jewish, and they were celebrating Hanukkah in an event. He had supporters out there with him, and people got shot, and including the man that tried that stopped the gunman. It's crazy. So we'll go over that tomorrow because I know it's heavy. It's really heavy. Rob Reiner passed away. He and his wife were, found stabbed to death in their home by their own son. You have people out here. It's just, crazy stuff going on. And I don't like the comments that are being said about Rob Reiner's death. Just as much as I didn't like the comments being made about Charlie Kirk's death. I don't care what political stance you take. When you stand before God on Judgment Day, He will not be asking you if you voted Democrat or Republican. God does not care about our politics. The only time you even hear Jesus talk about a politic when He was asked about taxes. And He said, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Give to God what belongs to God. And leave me out the rest. I'm adding that on. I don't care about that. We care about that. We care about, the Republicans, the Democrats on this, and the Republicans on that. We mere mortals care about that stuff. Republicans and Democrats are not paying my bills. My employer does. God does, above all. That's not the key to heaven. God will judge your soul, not your voting record. These are the things we have to remember when you're talking about a loss of life. So nobody should be celebrating the death of Rob Reiner. It's like no one should be celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. And I want to be clear on that. So to the Maz, if you see that crap in my chat, boot them out. I try to just envision what these people were like when they were babies. And it helps you to keep some level of humanity. If that's what you have to take or visualize in your mind just to maintain humanity, then do that. But turning it to something political is gross. It's gross either way. I don't care. And it's the beauty of me being apolitical. I can say what I want. I don't really care who like it. But it's the truth. When it comes down to it, our soul salvation will matter the most to God. He's not going to ask us, who you voted for in 2006, 2001. He didn't care. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I had to get that out. So, our condolences and prayers to, people that lost their lives in Australia, to Rob Reiner and his wife. There was another opera singer I can't think of his name. His son took his life. He was an African American opera singer, and his son took his life. So that's two famous individuals so far within the last week that have lost their lives at the hands of their own children. It's crazy. Right before the holidays, where we should be spending time with our family and enjoying the holiday and enjoying life and the simple things in life. Two people so far that have made the news whose lives were taken at the hands of their own children, their own sons at that. The opera singer lost his life to his son, and Rob Reiner lost his life to his son. I mean, it's crazy. Plus his wife. Ugh, can't make this up. So hope everybody's doing well. You guys stay safe. Look out for your neighbors. Look out for your family, your friends, your colleagues. Look out for people. Look out for yourselves. Protect yourselves. Make sure you get in the car and hurry up and lock the door. People start looking suspicious and weird around you as you go out to these events. Enjoy the holiday season. Just stay cautious and vigilant and use wisdom. In all things, use wisdom. Amen. So let's get to it. We get some comments in. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Hit the like button as you come in. Hit that like button. Shout out to the S Files. Wow, that was a perfect time, and my other live just ended. Oh, okay, cool things. See, yeah, and then plus I still have a regular job after work, so I'm glad you guys are able to tune in. Thank you so much for that. Let's see. I'm gonna pull up. We're gonna get to this video because I just it came up in my feed, and I was like, yes, somebody's finally touching on this. Because planes and all. Oh, this background is hideous. What is going on in my background? Yeah, I'm over here playing around with the backgrounds. There we go. Yeah, that background was hideous. So here we go. Let's get some more comments in right quick, and then we'll get started. I appreciate you all. Let's see here. Jenna, I got you. What's going on, Caleb? You all right? Good evening to you. Working on something new. Hopefully I can finish in a few days. You guys, make sure you check out S-Files. Please drop your YouTube channel link. You're mod, you can drop your YouTube channel link. If you're a mod and you have YouTube channel links you want to drop, feel free to drop them. Y'all don't even have to ask. Just drop your YouTube channel link in the chat. If you recognize other content creators in the chat, perhaps I missed them. Sometimes they'll creep in and out. I might catch a comment here and there. Berean Babes will come through here, or Jay the Informant, or Information Man, and my brother in Christ, Jay Witt podcast. They'll come through here sometimes, and I'm on another screen, so I may not see the comments. So always, if you see them, content creators that come through here, please make sure you drop their YouTube channel links. And if you are a content creator, let us know, and we'll give you some recognition and give you a shout out. That's how it should be. So you guys check out the S-Files, a fantastic mod who created that absolute hilarious video. Oh man, 12 Days of Conspiracy. Coming to a theaters near you. So go check out that video on her channel and just have some fun. You gotta laugh at things. Candace is somebody you just gotta laugh at once a week. You can't make stuff up. Oh man, Candace apparently shared intel with Erica. Candace, you don't understand the definition of intel. Stop impersonating investigators, girl. Candace doesn't have intel. We're literally about to hear a video of her Egyptian plane nonsense be debunked yet again. Because Candace, you never showed any black box data from these planes. You typing some stuff up means nothing. Absolutely nothing. If you're wrong, at least 51%, you're wrong. She'll find out when she go to court. Even in court for civil proceedings, the burden to meet is the preponderance of the evidence. That's at least being 51% convincing. This young man is saying she's 66% wrong. We're going to go with that. If the court is okay with 51%, we're good with 66. He can't make this up. Oh, man, but she can't show receipts to the public. Make that make sense. Exactly. And that's all we've been asking for, Caleb. That's all we've been asking for. Post your evidence, Candace. Just post your evidence. Erica, please record everything from hello to goodbye. I know, right? If you guys, saw the live I did yesterday, I actually put the comment in real time up on Twitter X, and I was like, "Girl, record that hearing, the video, the meeting. Record it." I'm thinking about the court hearing. Record that meeting for the love of God. Record it because no one has to trust Candace at anything. She's been lying for almost 4 months. Candace, who's the shooter? You can imagine how she's going to use that opportunity to pivot, right? Hey, Emma, how you doing? Do you have two channels now, Lady Luck? I've always had two channels. But the second one was more so geared towards being a clipper for Tommy G. But because I can't keep up with his content and what's going on, and he's a fantastic content creator, don't get me wrong. I just couldn't keep up with it with the time constraints. I just decided to rebrand it, and that's going to be kind of like our tea gossip channel. Over here, it's independent journalism. Over there to just be kind of let loose, trending type topics. You know, evictions and court body. Police cam, body cams, court cam. Just things that just like, okay, let's dish out some tea on this sort of thing. So I just rebranded it. That's kind of the idea on it. So if you guys want to let loose, we go over there and check out some content over there. And I still gotta get a live stream set up and going over there. But I am. We're gonna get to that. Because sometimes you need a brain break. Candace is already a migraine inducing alien from outer space. So sometimes you just gotta get a brain break from it. Her and Umar. Child. Cult leaders are exhausting. Yeah. So yes, if you can, make sure you subscribe to my second channel, The Lady Luck Club with Sweet Tea. Yeah, I thought it was just funny. But The Lady Luck Club with Sweet Tea, check it out and subscribe to it. Let's get that up to 2,000. Maybe we get up to 2,000 subs over there, and get the content flowing. I'm going to try to get my best to get a live stream for that separately this week, and do it before I get to enjoying the holidays with my kids. I'm so looking forward to next week. I'm ready to sleep in. What's going on, C5? How you doing? I can't believe I came in on time. Yay! I know, right? Love from Israel. Love back to you, honey. Love to UK. Love to Australia. Love to France. Love to all of you all. It's exciting. All right, y'all. We're going to get started because I don't want to be too late, and I don't want to hold you all too late trying to recognize all of you all. What's going on, Tavares? How you doing? Shout out to my mods. Everybody speak to everybody. S5 says 10-4. Juju said, I'm not a mod, but I got you LLC. If you want to be a mod, let me know. Send me an email with your full YouTube channel tag if you would like to be a mod here in the LLC or in the LLC with Sweet Tea over on the second channel. Just email me and send me your full YouTube channel tag, and I will make you a mod. Not everybody. I don't want the bots. Y'all get on my nerve enough. Just people I know that's got some common sense. The bots, honey, they just bots. Bots are bots. All right, y'all ready? We got some new people up in here. Who's out of frame? What are you talking about? See, you don't know how that. The only danger to Candace is her mouth. What? Who is Hirely now? What's your name? Hire Lyle now? Lyle? That's a heck of a profile name. Is it Hire Lyle now? Watch the video frame by frame of what? Candace is not a pilot. Who's the guy in her ear? He about as wrong as she is. If you don't present black box data, see, here's the basic fundamentals that they don't research. Black box data gives you all the data of what's happening with that plane from the moment it takes off to the moment it lands, even when it's on the ground. Data is being collected from that plane to the black box. You have two components of that. I'll let you look that up. If she can't support anything she puts out with any data from those black boxes, I don't care. Because that box with those two components tells you everything you need to know about what's going on with that plane. She doesn't even pull in the data from the ATC side. This is what good journalism does for you. I don't have to listen to her when she's not a pilot. She knows nothing about aviation. She's not an engineer. She's not a designer. She's not an aircraft mechanic. She knows nothing about planes, fundamentally speaking. Basic information. She can't even express knowledge of it. If she did know it, she would express it. She would go over, here's what a black box is, here's the components of it, here's how data is collected, here's what I expect to see when this data is retrieved from the black box, from the FDR and the CVR. Basic information. She won't even show that she understands how planes work. She literally thinks that a transponder can be seen with the naked eye. Why would I need to watch anything frame to frame when she won't give basic information about a damn plane? I'll leave it up to you to grovel the ground and worship the ground she walks on. I don't owe her that. The candy asses and the bots know I don't give a damn what they think and how they feel. They know that. They come back for the banter. Yeah, I can get rocks. But they think that's how they are. It'd be all right. Journalist is documenting the campus remodel on YouTube. Candace can go out there. What's going on, Truth? How you doing? Candace can go out there. I'm waiting on her to go out there. Why can't she go out there and record? She could go out there and live stream. Chris, what are you talking about, man? Y'all like children. What are you saying that for? What does this comment mean? I'm not getting your comment. Let me give you opportunity to clear that up. Candace who? The alien. Candace the alien from outer space. Let's get to it, y'all. We're gonna go ahead. Okay, this is coming from. We're gonna check out this video. This is from Kinokoa. This video is everywhere, but they have the best actual video. Where this guy is explaining the information straight out. Artie's trolls cover this as well, but this is just the video without commentary. So this is the clip. We're gonna go over this, and then shout out to Artie's troll. He goes over this as well on his channel. But like I said, if fundamentally you're not given the basic information about planes, then I don't care what you put up and call plot points. It means nothing if we can't authenticate that information came from the plane itself, particularly from the FDR in the black box. If you can't verify that, then Candace is not a pilot. She did not go to aviation school. She barely finished college. So I have no reason to trust anything she says about something she's not an expert in, because that is how that works. So at any time, even if you're researching, you don't fully understand, when it comes down to topics like aviation or the law, I go to the experts. Captain Steve is an actual pilot who's been a pilot for over 20 years. He also has a YouTube channel, and he gives fantastic analysis and breakdowns on planes and how they function and operate, especially when there's a crash investigation. So if you guys want to check out Captain Steve, I'm not even telling you to come to me for this, because I'm not an expert in planes, but I at least research and read basic information about a plane. I even Google where the transponder is and if it can be seen by the naked eye in real time. You can't see that with the naked eye outside the plane. So no one should be saying in an email that Candace made up that that the transponder was cut off and could not actually support that with the data from the plane itself. That data can either be retrieved from the plane's black box, from the FDR, or the ATC, the air traffic controller. This is basic information that can be Googled. No one has to believe me on it. Google it. Research it. The information is there. So me trusting Candace at anything or looking at her stuff and ignoring facts about a basic plane is absolutely ridiculous. I'm not doing it. Child, please. Plus, I'm not in the mood to lose brain cells today. We all needed this little break. So I'm glad Candace did not do an episode. But don't worry to the candy asses and to the bots. She'll be live tomorrow. And we'll watch it. Oh, God. Because I really want to know what was said. I just hope Erica puts out a video. And if she has to debunk her, this will never end. If Candace puts out a video tomorrow and she says anything that did not transpire in that damn private meeting, which in the back of my mind, I'm sure that's what she's going to do. She's going to misquote something, misstate something, mislead people, misrepresent something. Even if it's a facial expression or a tick. She's going to say something dumb and to try to bait Erica Kirk to have to come out and now debunk that, which was done privately, unless somebody recorded it. Because otherwise, once again, we'll be in limbo of wondering what actually transpired and who's telling the truth. We're not in the mood. So I really hope Candace gets her ass in front of a camera tomorrow, that she doesn't sit here and fabricate or elaborate on anything that's not accurate and truthful. And if anything is said or done that is not accurate, prayerfully, Erica Kirk just hits play on a video and says, I recorded the whole thing. Game on. And that's it. And then that'll end it once and for all. Because we can't do this back and forth. Candace keep trying to bait people for content, as opposed to her just being a journalist and researching information on something that people would find useful and informative. She won't do that because she's bad at this. Candace, you are bad at this. She went out there though and had that meeting in private. You can't make this up. 4 months of her being on camera, lying like hell. And when she asked questions face to face to Erica Kirk, it's in private. And she didn't live stream or record it. Why? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. I wish Erica wouldn't agree to that, but it is what it is. All right, so let me drop the link to this video in the chat, and you guys can check out the this channel if you want, where this video is. I just so happen to see this on this channel because I wanted the full video, and then we're gonna get to it. So when you can hear and see, put a 1 in the chat. Let's go.
On September 10th, 2025, Charlie Kirk was shot and killed at Utah Valley University. Police say they have the shooter. There is a confession, DNA, and a recovered weapon. His name is Tyler Robinson. His parents identified him from FBI photos and helped turn him in. But online, a very different story has taken hold. A story claiming this wasn't a lone gunman, but a coordinated multinational operation involving Egypt, Israel, France, the United States, federal agencies, TPUSA executives, Bridget Macron, and even French legionnaires. And at the center of it all are 2 planes. Candace Owens has told millions of people that 2 Egyptian military aircraft, SU-BTT and SU-BND, tracked Erica Kirk's movements 73 times.
Well, I'm curious on this. To the commenter here, where's any evidence that Erica asked for that meeting? How do you know Candace didn't ask for it? She went out there, she agreed to meet with her and didn't live stream it. Who brought the meeting up? Where's the evidence that Erica asked for the meeting? I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm not even going to try. Where's the evidence that Erica asked for this meeting? Candace could have asked for it. You know, she's got to have an out from all this nonsense for 4 months. Either this is what she's using the meeting for, to come out and say, I'm going to go ahead and move forward. We came to a conclusion on this. We're going to move on to something else. Or she's going to lie like hell and embellish and then keep baiting Erica Kirk to have to debunk her dumbass. What evidence do you have to prove that Erica Kirk asked for this meeting? Well, because you're telling me Erica wanted that. Erica said we're having a meeting. How do you know Candace didn't reach out to her for the one-on-one? Based on your comment. So what exactly am I lying about? Candace went out there for that meeting and she did not record it, unless there's a video you know about that I don't. Don't make it seem as if Erica asked her and begged her to have this meeting. We don't know who actually went to who first and approached who for a meeting. So when you call someone a liar, you better have some facts and evidence to back it up. Doesn't matter who tweeted it, who asked for it first, who approached who with the meeting. It's a simple question. Yeah, we got to refresh our brains. That's it. Who asked for the meeting? Can't make this up. Why Candace walking around here talking about I hate everyone? So funny to me.
Over 3 years.
Between 2022 and September of 2025, both of those aircrafts, SU-BTT, the yellow plane, and SU-BND, the blue plane, showed 68 overlaps with Erica's documented locations. Okay, 68 overlaps. I have since been able to add now 73 times that this overlapped. Okay.
73 or 68.
29 of those instances also happened to include Charlie. I am telling you this information has been completely verified. I am showing you this on a spreadsheet now. These are all verified. The instances.
How was it verified? I'm curious. Where's the black box data? Where's the FDR data? She's saying it's being verified. This is something she typed up. The only way to verify and corroborate this is if you have the data directly from the FDR from that black box, or you getting the data from the ATC end. That was transponded, the transponder that relays that information to the ATC. The FDR, the flight data recorder, is going to tell you this information. Coordinates, where it landed, where it took off, is going to tell you that. She's not even showing us that data to corroborate anything she's just said. And she's not an air pilot. Remember that. She didn't study anything about aviation. But I don't see any data here from the FDR itself. Because if you know what that looks like, you will know that this is not it.
In which this plane, all 68 instances that this plane crossed with Erica.
He says the odds of this happening randomly are
less than a 0.000000001% probability. Okay, under random distribution models, that these Egyptian planes coincidentally landed around Erica at these times.
In her words, the Egyptian planes hold the key.
The Egyptian planes hold the key, and that is obvious. Maybe these planes might be the key to everything.
They hold the key to solving Charlie's assassination.
Egypt to Israel to France, the United States to TPUSA to Charlie's murder. This entire web rests on one claim, that these two Egyptian planes tracked Erica Kirk 73 times. To support it, Candace said she used Flight Radar 24 and showed a spreadsheet on her screen. I screenshotted that spreadsheet and rebuilt it line by line. She says she verified everything using Flight Radar 24. So I did exactly what she claimed she did. I bought the Flight Radar 24 business subscription, the same one she says she used. Then I went further. I purchased a $950 3-year flight log from FlightAware to independently verify every entry. When you compare what the planes are actually doing to what Candace claims they did, the results aren't close. 66% of her location claims are wrong. And in 60% of the cases, the aircraft is on an entirely different continent. She has devoted much of her last 21 episodes to tying Charlie Kirk's...
Dear Lord. So he got some backup information.
Line by line. She says she verified everything using Flight Radar 24. So I did exactly what she claimed she did.
Candace, you suck.
I bought the Flight Radar 24 business subscription, the same one she says she used. Then I went further. I purchased a $950 3-year flight log from FlightAware to independently verify every entry. When you compare what the planes are actually doing to what Candace claims they did, The results aren't close.
Oh my God.
66% of her location claims are wrong.
Y'all let the candy asses and the bots have at it. They got a lot of pent up aggression. They're bigly mad. Their Lord and Savior went out there and met up with Erica Kirk. They're going to copy and paste the same comments. You see them flowing. You know, unless it's something racial slur or something like that, you guys kind of know the drill now. Just let them get it all out. They're going to throw their tantrum and have epileptic seizures. You know, because the tantrums is just getting hard and heavy in the chat. Hit the like button, you candy asses and dumb bots. Why y'all misspell everything? Just hit the like button and learn something today. We're here to teach you. Let's start with this black box because they don't understand that. The black box data in planes is crucial for aviation safety and accident investigations. It captures a wide range of data, including flight data, speed, altitude, engine performance, and navigation details. Guess what navigation details includes, children? Coordinates, flight patterns. Candace is not going to teach the cult members any information because it would just, you know, it has to prove she has a brain. So here it is. Black box data. You know, because it's still a Google search. The cockpit voice. No dirty jokes in the chat, please, about cockpit. Or, you know, George. Conversations and sounds from the cockpit, providing insights into actions and decisions made during the flight. Yeah. Emergency locator. Equipped with an emergency locator to help quickly locate the black box in the case of a crash. The emergency locator would help them to locate the box no matter where it is. So if it becomes detached from the plane, they'll be able to find that black box because it gives you all the data you need to help you with the investigation. Durability. Built to withstand extreme conditions such as high temperatures, impacts, and water immersion. And somebody let me know what is the highest temperature as far as if it was on fire, the black box can sustain. You know, because we like to engage in the chat here and share real information. Location. It's painted in a bright orange color. So when I say black box, it's not actually black. I'm calling it what it is referred to as. As you can see here, like so. It's referred to as the black box data. But it's orange. It's bright orange to facilitate its location in the event of an accident. These data points are essential for understanding the sequence of events leading up to an accident and can help prevent future incidents. The black box is a testament to the advancements in aviation technology and safety measures. Because black boxes, something Candace won't even bring up. And you guys can see here, there's videos out here to show you how they work, how the actual data looks once you pull it from, it looks like, you know, old school film tape type of thing. But you pull it out, you run it through the system, and the data you see here, this is how it looks on the inside. It has this, you know, the black tape, the black film that records. When you pull that data and it shows up in the software program that you're using, there's specific components you should look for to make sure you're looking at the right type of data, the right information that's coming from the black box. Why couldn't Candace just pull that up? If she's claiming information she has contains to plot points or coordinates for that plane, it should be based on the flight data. Because that is how it works. Can't make this up. 66% of her location claims are wrong because, of course, they are. Candace,
and in
you help her.
60% of the cases, the aircraft is on an entirely different continent. She has devoted much of her last 21 episodes to tying Charlie Kirk's murder to an international conspiracy centered on these two aircraft.
Egyptian planes, Egyptian military planes, Egyptian planes.
Okay, in case you missed the point. Somebody asked, can you prove it didn't follow Erica Kirk? If the coordinates are not correct for that plane based on the data, that means that those coordinates are not real. You can't say that the plane were at these coordinates if it doesn't even show up on the actual flight data itself. That's a direct indication that those planes were not at those coordinates. And how would you know it followed Erica Kirk? Because then that would mean you have to know wherever she was for all of those 73. She said one number 68 and then another number 73. That means you would have to know and have evidence that Erica Kirk was at every single coordinate. All 73 of them. Let's just say it's 73. Candace can't pick a number. You would have to prove Erica Kirk was also at those coordinates. It's 73 of them. When did Candace put out any information to show here are all 73 points, all 73 coordinates, and here is video footage or photos of Erica Kirk at these same coordinates at the same time this plane was flying over her at that same coordinate? Because this is how common sense works. Logic and common sense. In all things, use wisdom. Once you gain the knowledge of the basics of flight data and you understand how coordinates work, you're saying that this is a place on Earth in this reality where this plane was, and here's the evidence that Erica Kirk was at the same coordinates at the same time. Where has she proven that Erica Kirk was at those same coordinates? 73 coordinates. Where did she prove that? You would have to have followed, basically cyber stalked Erica Kirk in 73 different locations. And let's not even say different, because what if some of the coordinates were repetitive? Even though it would just count as 1 point. But 73 different locations that the data does not even prove that this plane was at. That means some of the coordinates aren't real. But now you have to prove Erica Kirk was at those same 73 coordinates. We have a way to pinpoint where you are based on coordinates between phones, the plane, transponders, radar systems, satellite information. Like, there's a way to pinpoint this stuff. Plus, you can't go anywhere, I guess, on Earth now except the desert and maybe Amazon without a camera on you. So you're going to get captured in a camera somewhere. Even if you just go to the ATM, you're going to get picked up at a camera, on a camera. Your cell phone pings to cell phone towers. Because radar pings to cell phone towers. You have investigators that solve murders because they're able to pinpoint where this person was at a specific time frame, at a specific location, based upon their cell phone pinging to a specific tower that provides you with, here it is, coordinates. So if you have coordinates to prove this plane was at these 73 different locations, now you have to prove that Erica Kirk was at these 73 different locations. Any questions from the crowd? Because that's logic and common sense. Someone put up what coordinates are. I'm trying to pull up that comment. Degree, minutes, seconds. There you go, JH. There you go. Right here, y'all. This is imperative. This is how coordinates is labeled. Degrees, minutes, seconds. Some people understand the terminology of longitude, latitude. So all those who are, educated in aviation or even just tracking, put up information about how to track a coordinate. Erica Kirk would not have been able to go anywhere if she had a cell phone in her hand that was on and on her person without that cell phone pinging to some tower, recording a location by coordinates. So my question is, who the hell cyber stalked Erica Kirk at 73 different locations? Because if the mommy sleuths are out here doing this, while they're impersonating investigators, that is illegal. Why would you want to know where she was in 73 different locations in the first place? Does she not have the right to live and exist in peace? Seriously. No one has to say she was on the plane. But Candace has not proven she was at those coordinates either. She would have to prove Erica Kirk was there. We don't care about a plane that did not actually deliver firepower to Charlie Kirk. Those planes are irrelevant. It was a distraction. We don't care about the planes. So the idea that they're following her would mean that a plane is stalking her. And for no other reason. You can't make this up. So prove that Erica Kirk was at those same coordinates. And I want photos, videos, or any coordinates coming from her cell phone to a tower to support that theory. Because I don't do theories, I do evidence. Shout out to JH giving us a way to record coordinates, because that's imperative. Need to know that. See, this is why the candy asses come over here. They learn something. Whether they retain this is the whole
Egyptian planes, Egyptian military planes, Egyptian military.
All right, let's go back a little bit.
So I did exactly what she claimed she did. I bought the Flight Radar 24 business subscription, the same one she says she used. Then I went further. I purchased a $950 3-year flight log from FlightAware to independently verify every entry. When you compare what the planes are actually doing to what Candace claims they did, the results aren't close. 66% of her location claims are wrong. And in 60% of the cases, the aircraft is on an entirely different continent. Yeah. She has devoted much of her last 21 episodes to tying Charlie Kirk's...
Did I hear that? They were on an entirely different continent because coordinates. Flight data is not lying. Candace is. Tell her to, let us know when this Harry Meyer is going to become a real boy. Candace, we don't care how many personalities you have in your head. Stop trying to manifest these people to be real when they don't exist. Only in her mind, she's going to have a damn psyche eval order. I just can't stress this enough.
Of her location claims are wrong. And in 60% of the cases, the aircraft is on an entirely different continent. She has devoted much of her last 21 episodes to tying Charlie Kirk's murder to an international conspiracy centered on these two aircraft.
Egyptian planes, Egyptian military planes, Egyptian planes, Egyptian planes, Egyptian planes, Egyptian planes, Egyptian military planes, Egyptian planes, Egyptian military plane, Egyptian planes, Egyptian plane,
Egyptian planes, Egyptian planes, Egyptian military planes, Egyptian planes.
Candace claimed a source contacted her DIA hotline, alleging Egyptian passengers were escorted off one of the planes in Wilmington, Delaware by federal agents into a building housing the FBI, DOJ, DHS, and Secret Service. She presented this as evidence of U.S. government collusion.
I think we just want to know what he did wrong, okay? Because that...
Oh, girl, you would think, even if these agencies are in that building, along with her attorney's, law firm, that still it would not prove someone is being followed when you can't tell us where that person was. You can't tell us the exact locations of where the actual person allegedly being followed was at the same time. Here in this reality on Earth, you would have to exist in the same reality, in the same time frame, at the same coordinates with that plane. And we'll have to line up to the exact coordinate, down to the exact second. This is so crazy. And yet, to the candy asses, when are you guys going to start asking her questions again? And not ask us? You know, like Megan Kelly said, I'm not the mommy of the internet. Oh, Megan Kelly, you have no spine,
That
girl.
email, that checks out. Yeah. Secret Service,
Yeah,
the FBI, the DEA being involved, why this plane, the quote unquote Egyptian plane, landed into Wilmington, that checks out.
She publicly,
but no one asks, what are the coordinates of this photo? Where did this photo come from? Let's start with the question of where did the photo come from? Candace, if we pull that photo up and it ends up being a stock photo image, I'm going to clown the hell out of you, girl. If that photo is just a generic stock photo image she pulled from Google Images, I'm going to clown the mess out of her. You're not going to have a photo of a military aircraft in the air that looks like that. And that photo itself does not give you any details. It doesn't give you a location. You know, photos can give you locations too. You can't make this up. And yet she couldn't tell us where Erica Kirk was at the same time.
questioned Cash Patel,
Oh, it was in another
Tulsi
country.
Gabbard, and Joe Kent, suggesting they knew about this conspiracy and were covering it up.
I think we know why Cash Patel is out, right? I mean, I read this, checked it, verified it, and I just want to know why, Charlie. I want
to know, Candace, where's the text message to the FBI agent? You know, when you were talking about, well, there's an assassination attempt on my life, and it was, you know, Club d'Assault, and they're taking payments, and they're still suing me, and, you know, the book pros are suck. Candace, post up the text message you sent to that high-ranking FBI official. Show us proof that you filed an official complaint to the FBI in good faith. In good faith. Remember the words good faith. It's going to come up in the next video.
to know why the decision was made to murder Charlie Kirk.
Why is she
a
off
decision
script?
that very clearly had to be approved by Charlie's friends.
What?
She suggested TPUSA knew about the planes and tried to kill the story.
That would include Candace, wouldn't it? She claims to be a friend of Charlie Kirk. You know, because hypocrisy is still lying, Candace. So, because Candace Owens doesn't understand the definition and concept of the word hypocrisy, still to this very day, when she says generic stuff like this, shouldn't she be including herself? Because she considers herself to be his friend, even though we all really know deep down she wasn't.
The decision was made to murder Charlie Kirk, a decision that very clearly had to be approved by Charlie's friends.
That would be her too.
She suggested TPUSA knew about the planes and tried to kill the story.
There are good guys everywhere. You know, lightness is always fighting darkness. And I received an interesting tip from a Fed that I'm going to share with you now that might be relevant. But Turning Point USA put in a personal request to try to get the Egyptian plane story killed, you know. And
who told her that from Turning Point USA again? I sure hope in the 4.5 hour private conversation between her and Erica Kirk, that she was at least able to give Erica Kirk a name of her so-called leaks within Turning Point USA. Because who the hell telling her this? You know, aside from that voice in her head.
I find that to be very interesting. What is it about these Egyptian planes that Turning Point USA didn't want them to be discussed? I don't know.
We don't care.
But I am going to find out. I think we kind of have found out in a weird, really effed up
no,
way.
You didn't.
Actually,
no.
It makes my stomach turn.
She claimed Israelis, Zionists, and the U.S. government panicked when she mentioned them.
I can tell you that right now in government, there is real panic. There is real discussion happening regarding the Egyptian planes. It is 1000% legit, and it caused a lot of panic. And we're getting a lot of phone calls now from people telling us it has caused panic.
And that Israel censored her TikTok videos about the planes.
Speaking of the unique relationship between Egypt and Israel, TikTok is hitting us for videos talking about the Egyptian planes. That's very strange. Israel's moderator served in the IDF, we know, and Bibi wants TikTok secured for Israel's future.
Who cares about, listen, Candace just throws out words and tries to conform them into a statement. Like so. Chicken, George. Playboy, Boys Club, Plain, Red, Barney, Bones. All of these things matter. What the heck does any of this have to do with anything? Candace, tell us who the shooter is, because you were supposed to be looking for that person. We're no closer to knowing a name of this shooter from Candace Owens. We're nowhere near that. She keeps asking the same dumb question over and over again. And she was the one that was supposed to be giving us the answers to that question. You know, impersonating an investigator and all. She was supposed to be telling us who the shooter is. And yet her cult refuses to ask her questions because this, cowards.
Why do they care about Egyptian planes that were there? It's kind of coming together. There's a picture here that's coming together.
She linked the planes to France through Satis, a French aerospace company operating in Wilmington.
Now I consider Satis, which according to our source, our well-placed source, is a front, right? Suddenly this French company comes in and leases a hangar for only 2 years, okay? And immediately this becomes a location where our Egyptian military plane is going to land in Wilmington, Delaware. I don't think we can reasonably ignore that odd French.
No, we can, because you're not showing us a copy of that lease. Candace, show us the lease agreement. While we're sitting here finding addresses that links back to George Farmer and Parlor Inc. from a consultant firm you paid a bunch of stupid money to under BLEXIT. You see how I can make that connection? Candace has the inability to do that because it doesn't connect. And she's not showing us documentation. I at least pull up the tax forms. Where is this lease agreement?
Company in Delaware, now that our source proved to us that it certainly wasn't established to provide any maintenance to those Egyptian planes, and it was more than likely a front for something else, we should address that. Because I know that many of you guys were wondering whether or not Charlie's assassination was meant to distract us from the Brigitte Macron investigation. And rightfully so. That is a fair question. Where was Brigitte Macron on the dates that Egyptian plane was from 9/4 through to 9/11? Where was Brigitte Macron?
She further claimed Israel was connected because an Israeli firm is the second largest shareholder in Satis.
The second largest shareholder for Satis is Israel. Yeah, it's an Israeli firm based in Tel Aviv.
When you compare Candace's claims to the actual data, 66% are wrong. 39 of the 65 verifiable entries place the plane on the wrong continent.
39 of the 65 verifiable entries. Some of them weren't verifiable. She said 73, did she not? Was that not the magic number? The total she gave at the end was 73. Only 39 of 65 verifiable entries. That means, what, 8 of them were not even verifiable? If we're going on what Candace said about the total number here. But I mean, those 39 entries places the plane on the wrong continent. Because Candace, Africa is a continent, not a country. This is the buffoonery she puts out. And it's so simple with debunking her. Just a little bit of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and being able to connect the dots and having common sense. Yet again, she does not tell us at all with any proof or evidence how Erica Kirk was at any of these coordinates at the same time. No videos, no photos, no cell phone tower pings, no nothing. Nothing. No data from Erica Kirk's phone or even Charlie Kirk if she was with him. Nothing. A real investigator, Candace, would be able to get cell phone tower footage and data and be able to analyze that data to pinpoint the actual coordinates of someone being in the same location. You can't make this up.
She says the planes are tracking Erica. The aircraft are thousands of miles away. These are not minor errors.
In another
They are
continent.
continent-level inaccuracies. They collapse the foundation of her theory. But there's a deeper problem. Candace provides no verifiable evidence for Erica Kirk's location.
There you go.
No timestamps, no travel records, no photos, nothing. Her entire overlap model depends on data the public cannot verify.
Nope.
And that she herself cannot independently confirm. If her flight data is wrong 66% of the time, the real error rate for the supposed overlaps, once you account for Erica's unverified locations, is likely above 90%.
Yep.
Which means the overlaps aren't real. And without them, the conspiracy collapses. And there's zero proof these planes ever tracked Erica.
None.
Not once.
Nope.
The story collapses the moment you check the receipts.
Exactly.
Charlie Kirk's murder is a tragedy. 2 children lost their father.
Yep.
A wife lost her husband. Millions lost someone they admired. And instead of honoring that, Candace Owens built a global conspiracy around his death, a patchwork of anonymous emails, wild speculation, and insinuation stitched together around a fraudulent spreadsheet. It's insane. She's accused innocent people of murder. She's accused Charlie's closest friends of betraying him.
Yep.
She took the people Charlie loved most, the people he built TPUSA with, and she taught millions to vilify them. She's been strawmanning the case against the man who's most likely responsible for Charlie's death, Tyler Robinson.
You know, when the candy asses and the bots start pushing out this narrative, and then, you know, because they copy and paste and follow the leader, you can kind of expect, based on this comment here, that Candace is definitely going to try to use this meeting to pivot. We care when someone lies like hell for 4 months. Period. Especially when those lies have led to more death threats against innocent people who did nothing wrong, and Candace cannot ever prove that they were involved in any crime. It is defamatory as well. It's absolutely malicious, especially when she doubles down. So don't cry and pout when she gets hit with a lawsuit. She can take it like a champion. She's already got one from the Macrons. You know, they're showing us all how it's done. To say that it doesn't matter after 4 months of her lying stupidly, not even providing base knowledge and information on IRS tax deadlines, or what an endowment is, or a transponder inside of a plane, or flight data for a plane. Basic stuff. She won't even give you guys the basic information, the building blocks, to even try to prove a point. Once again, it matters when you're lying, and it leads to people getting death threats and kidnapping threats. And this is why I ask, because I have the right to ask questions, and candy asses and bots don't run shit over here. They already know that. They come at their own peril in my chat. We're going to ask questions. I would love to know who actually initiated the idea for these two to have a meeting. It makes a difference. Because if Candace initiated this, if she reached out to Erica and said, I want to have this meeting with you. All right. I want to sit down and have a talk. Because she knows she's got to pivot at some point. And you're confirming that with this comment. She's pivoting. We get to make that assumption as well. You know, because her cult members in the box are starting to spread this nonsense. This is what they're going on now. Oh, who cares? I've seen that comment 4 times. It's like copy and paste over and over and over again. So this is what they're trying to spread. This is what they're trying to get people to believe and understand. Now, there's a level of accountability that she's going to have, because you had people catching death threats and kidnapping threats. The 2 children, to which these candy ass cult members in the box could care less about, are sitting here having to get extra security because sick, evil, sadistic idiots are sending kidnapping threats against the children. Candace doesn't have to worry about that. Period. She went to Dollywood with no protection. Little to no protection. And we don't even care where she goes. But if you're going to sit here and say someone's trying to assassinate me, would you try to actually make moves as if that's legitimate? She won't even tell us, show us the text message you sent to the FBI, Candace. So all those theories just go away with a 4.5-hour conversation that, hell, we don't even know if it was recorded. No, it doesn't just go away. That's not how this works. When you're sitting here lying on people that have caught death threats, and 2 men are in jail right now, and she hasn't even denounced those actions. This is insane. No, no one's going to make it that easy. I want evidence. I don't care how anyone feels or what they think of her. I don't give a damn. You want to support her. You want to treat her like Jesus Christ and worship the ground she walks on. Go ahead. Enjoy that idolization. It should fare well with you on Judgment Day. But we don't do that over here. We're going to ask questions. We're going to talk about it. You know, because I'm the queen of this. You can't make this up. All these months, she's been saying all this nonsense. And clearly, she's trying to pivot out of it without even saying, I'm sorry. Without even telling her audience, her cult members in the bots. We owe an apology because we've sitting here and we've said all this for months. And somehow no one should be expected to just, get off of it. She didn't want people to shut her up. So why should anyone else when it comes to questioning all this BS she put out here? We're going to keep asking questions. Period. You don't like it? Bye. Bye-bye. God bless your heart and all your parts.
While she also steelmans her international assassination plot, that just happens to circle back to the same obsession she had long before Charlie was murdered. And when you look at the real data, the timestamps, the logs, the flights themselves, her entire story evaporates. As Candace would say,
it's so fake and gay.
The overlaps aren't real. The conspiracy isn't real. The only real thing is the damage Candace has done to the people Charlie loved most.
So we were waiting for turning point.
So that was fantastic. And then hopefully you guys learned about, to the ones who didn't, because the Luxters, we read here. Reading is fundamental. But for those who didn't understand the concept of the black box data, what it does, now you can see tangibly with your own eyes information to help you understand how planes work. Because Candace does not know how planes work. You can always Google transponders. Gain some knowledge. Be willing to gain knowledge. You don't have to listen to me. Google it. I'm not trying to convince. I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to change anyone's minds about Candace Owens. I don't care if you want to worship the ground she walks on. But I do care if you can't produce evidence to support all this crap that's coming out of her mouth. She can't even tell us and confirm if Erica Kirk was at any of those points. 39 of them links back to this plane being in another continent. In a separate continent to the candy gases. How many continents are on Earth? I'm just curious if you all know that. This is God, you can't make this up. This is Jesus Enrique Rosas. And he is a, body language expert of some sort. I watch a few of his videos. He's actually tried to be very, very fair and impartial. There are times where he actually gives Candace Owens credit and says that, there's certain things she's right about when she's right. And then there's some things that she's flat out wrong about, and it should be called out. No one is going to sit here and give idolation and praise to someone, and then you can't give criticism. The bots are throwing tantrums, and Candy asks, let them have their tantrums. They know I'm not stunned at. But this is someone who has done several videos on, not just Candace Owens, but also on Erica Kirk, on Brian Harple, on other interviews from people within Turning Point USA, or I guess on Charlie Kirk's show, YouTube channel. And he was fair. He was fair. So I haven't seen all of them. But I've seen a good bit amount of his videos to be able to say if he's being impartial at the very least and just using basic common sense, I can trust that insight. I don't know if he is certified or licensed in psychology or just, behavioral analysis. I don't know. I'm not even gonna lie. And I'm not even gonna look it up because what he said in this video was spot on. Like I said, he's fair. He gives Candace credit about the text messages being confirmed, but when she sends other text messages out, we can't even get a date and time stamp. So, but he tries to be fair, right? But he expresses exactly who he supports too, because it's his prerogative. People can support who they want to support. My goal is not to try to change the mind of anyone, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. I don't care about that. I care about the evidence. That's it. Where's Eric at? Tell us the name of this Swiss bank boy. Can't make this up. So make sure you guys check him out. It's the body language guy. And I'll drop the video link. And yes, he does have a lot of candy ass bots and cult members in his chat because he does try to keep it fair and balanced with his analysis. And he also, does the same analysis on other people. So he has a ton of videos on his channel. Just like I do on mine, but whatever. They won't even pull up the channel and look at the playlist. But he has, a variation. So there's a whole lot to enjoy. Make sure you check him out. Shout out to the body language guy. Let's get to it. Put one in the chat where you can see and hear. Let's go.
So we were waiting for Turning Point to broadcast their debunking of all of Candace Owens' conspiracy theory claims today when Erica Kirk posted this at the last minute. Candace Owens and I are meeting for a private in-person discussion on Monday, December 15. Candace and I have agreed that public discussions, live streams, and tweets are on hold until after this meeting. I look forward to a productive conversation. Thank you. To what Candace Owens replied, I am very much looking forward to this discussion. So this was really unexpected. I can't deny that I have a bad feeling about this, but while we wait for the outcome, I want to mention, let's say, the outcome of my last couple of videos. One of them being my stance on Candace Owens, and the other one being my body language analysis of Erica Kirk's body language when Candace was brought up. Maybe you already watched both of them.
I can say this. I will agree to that. Erica Kirk shot some hilarious facial expressions. I laughed when I saw it. And we reacted to the CBS News town hall interview on Sunday. So make sure you go check out that live stream from Sunday. And I also have the actual full interview on my channel with no commentary, no commercial breaks, just the actual interview itself, the town hall interview. But the facial expressions were just off the charts. And I loved every minute of it. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm glad she was able to express her emotions through her facial expressions. Some people are just expressionable like that. It's like written all over their face how they're really feeling, and they don't have to really say it or in their body language. So this is crucial when it comes down to interrogations as well. These factors matter when you're trying to get information out of someone and determine if they're telling the truth or if they're lying. And I appreciate the way he puts this together and, presents his information here. So
maybe you didn't, but right now I'm going to kind of spoil both of them. Let's start with my stance on Candace Owens. If I had to summarize that video in a single sentence, it would be that, in my opinion, most, if not all, that Candace Owens has done since Charlie Kirk was murdered was in bad faith. Yes.
That part right there. It was in bad faith. Hence why I said, remember that when I said good faith. Candace acted in bad faith the entire time. And because it didn't have any rhyme or reason, and this information is being debunked with actual real evidence and information that can be Googled. So this is what I mean. Bad faith. Malice intent. And it's a definition of malice. You're acting in bad faith. There's some ill will. I still say Candace Owens is jealous of Erica Kirk. But the fact that she can't even be grateful for, Boys Club and her 4 kids, it speaks volumes. She doesn't even talk about her children like she talked about this whole thing with Charlie Kirk, with his assassination. About Turning Point. Even Erica. She never came out and said, listen, I don't need you all out here just attacking Erica Kirk on social media. If you're going to make statements, or even give your opinions on something, be respectful. She never once said that. She could have taken some level of accountability and kept her cult members in check. And she refused to do that. She doesn't care what they say or do. She's already said she hates everyone. So at the end of the day, why get shocked when we say that Candace was, and it still is, severely jealous of Erica Kirk? To the point where it's disturbing. She acted in bad faith. And I agree with him on this.
Yes, everyone is allowed to ask questions, but her reckless tips have put innocent people in danger, such as the man in maroon shirts the day Charlie was killed. And it's obvious that she has some kind of personal rift with Erica. The glee that Candace displayed when Erica told her to stop the first time was unsettling. So again, in the first 30 seconds of that video, I wanted to be very clear that and tell Candace Owens fans that they were not going to like what I was going to say. And maybe they could save themselves the 25 minutes of video and just jump straight to unsubscribe. No hard feelings whatsoever. I thought that this was going to be a shitstorm of vitriol and mean comments. And I must say that I was wrong. I was pleasantly surprised that even if many people disliked the video, hundreds of people unsubscribed, there were mean comments and ad hominem attacks, but the majority of the comments were positive. In fact, there were fans of Candace Owens who landed on my video. It was the first video they ever watched from my channel, and they liked it? Well, that was unexpected. I'm not going to say that there were many of them, but there were some of them. And I must say that I was surprised because in previous videos, when I mentioned Candace Owens and say things that like I'm not a fan of her, I got pretty heated comments. But well, this turned out to be a positive experience. Whoever wanted to stay, stayed, and whoever wanted to leave, well, left.
He made it clear, if you want to sit here and do all that nonsense, just unsub. I mean, can you blame him? Me personally, I've been on YouTube long enough to not give a damn about a cult member. At least what they think and how they feel. When they can't prove anything. Who cares? I don't care what they think and feel. They won't even get her to post up that FBI text message. I mean, simple stuff. So when they're not fact checking her and demanding that she presents actual evidence that can be corroborated, in real time even, let them throw their tantrums. They know, and they understand when they come here to the Lady Luck Club. Many of them are still going to announce when they're leaving, and then they come back under a different profile name because, bots, they do what they do. But it doesn't stop me from still saying what I want to say, presenting any information or evidence, and then asking sensible, reasonable questions based on evidence and documentation. I don't theorize just out of midair. No, it's based on a set of facts and information. That's it. I'm not going to ask about when did the gun come into camera view out of nowhere. It came from the fact that I didn't read that clearly in the indictment. I've asked about that. So, some people are new, but I've asked about that several times when I went over the indictment myself. When did the gun come into camera view? Where's the camera footage showing him pulling out the gun on the roof? Doesn't mean that I don't believe he did it or didn't do it. I believe he did it. I believe there's sufficient evidence that would prove in a court of law beyond a reasonable doubt in corroboration with his testimony and his admittance to it. He admitted to killing Charlie Kirk. There's no evidence to prove the contrary because Candace Owens won't tell us who the shooter is. So when it comes down to it, you either agree or you don't agree. At the very least, produce evidence. Eric, tell us the name of this Swiss bank. Can't make this up. That's how they are. You know, it's gonna happen like that. You're just gonna get the cult members that's gonna come in and throw tantrums, and then they'll be in and out. They'll be fine.
Then the next day, I decided to analyze Erica Kirk's reaction when she heard Candace Owens' name in a CBS program. And one thing that I really made sure in that analysis was to be completely unbiased and just describe body language, nothing else.
Exactly.
It was not until the last 30 seconds of the video that I said something along the lines that Erica Kirk's reaction is understandable if somebody is threatening Charlie's life project, which obviously implies that I support Erica Kirk. And for the sake of clarity, I want to make it really clear that I stand with Erica Kirk.
Yeah. Oh. It's just refreshing to hear that again. There you go. It shouldn't be, any confusion in that. But I'm not here to change the minds of anyone that, just worships Candace Owens either. I'm not here to stop you in your idolation. Have at it. Have fun. Don't force the rest of us to have to sit here and accept this BS she's saying. Don't force us to stop supporting Erica Kirk and to stop actually pursuing the truth in facts and documentation. Because they love to construe the definition of that word. Shout out to Truth is Life in the chat. Thank you.
It doesn't mean that I don't think that her actions as current CEO of Turning Point shouldn't be scrutinized. Right. She should be professionally. In fact, I want to correct an omission in my Candace video that could be subject to misinterpretation. I said that the Turning Point dudes should be subject to scrutiny as any other organization. I should have been more clear and said that Erica obviously should be subject to that professional scrutiny as well. Notice that I emphasize the word professional. Yeah. This is on purpose because I need to talk about the comments under my video analysis. In all my content making career, I have dealt with all sorts of toxicity, and comments can get really vicious, really fast in some instances. But nothing, and I mean nothing, could prepare me for what I saw in the first couple hours of that video going live. There were the most borderline psychotic people saying that Erica is a literal demon. I mean, I think that was the lightest remark on her. I have never seen something like this. Now, a fraction of my audience claimed that I don't allow dissent, but I always invite you to comment in a civilized and polite way. One thing that did not happen.
Yeah, because he got the right to sit here and say, you come into my channel, my platform, you're going to be civilized and respectful. I mean, seriously. Candace Owens put out this lie. People are trying to shut her up, but yet she has 3 to 4 months worth of videos where she's not shutting up. So the fact that she said that is a lie in and of itself. It's misleading and it's deceptive. Terms interchangeably used with the word lie. No one stopped her from saying anything. She still got in front of a camera and said everything she wanted to say. And then turned around and said, I would never apologize for it. Oh, okay. But when it comes boomerang and bite her in the ass, then, I don't want to hear it. I really don't. The same way that, we all have the right to freedom of speech and expression. It's the same way, especially if you're a content creator or independent journalist like I am, if you're the behavioral, the body language guy, we have the right to not read your nonsense. You can't force us to read the crap. So if we time it out or delete the comment, then that's what it comes down to. I don't understand. Why can't people have just conversations and ask questions like the one here? I'm going to answer this. I have no idea what's going on with the firings over there at TPUSA. But I have said numerous times that if any TPUSA employee sees something or come across, anything in writing or documentation, or they hear conversation or anything that they deem would be viable for an investigation of some sort, that they can be a whistleblower and have that added protection under federal law. The Whistleblower Act is a federal law that protects people coming forward to say something has occurred that is unethical, illegal, and or immoral, that is worthy of getting some level of attention, to at least have somebody look into it and investigate it. People who are licensed and certified to do that. So if they're going to do that, if anything being done that's unethical, illegal, and or immoral is legitimate and authentic, they should not have any fear at this point of losing their job or experiencing retaliation. Now, if TPUSA fires people and they are protected under the Whistleblower Act, and the information that they're presenting is viable and credible, you don't get protections under the Whistleblower Act if you're lying like hell. If you're just perpetuating her nonsense with no evidence, that Whistleblower Act will be irrelevant to you. I'm sure TPUSA will look into whatever comments or complaints or allegations brought forward to them. But as far as the protection under federal law, they have nothing to lose. If they're going to come forward on social media, why can't they do the same thing when it comes down to coming forward when it comes to being a whistleblower? That would be the best route to take. So I wouldn't agree to anybody just being fired, especially if they're trying to speak out because something legitimately went wrong within TPUSA. My issue is when they're only willing to come out on social media, but they don't have the boldness and the courage to come out as a whistleblower. They won't even use the terminology. They won't even say, I'm trying to be a whistleblower. I've already filed a complaint, this, that, and the third, XYZ, within TPUSA, and if need be, if it's a matter of something being, illegal and even criminalistic, then you go to the authorities. They're not even saying that. These people are coming out saying they work with Turning Point and this stuff, they're not even saying that they're going to do it the right way. They're going to file a formal complaint and do it the right way. It almost invalidates their level of credibility in what they're, bringing forth to the public. Because if they won't do it the right way, professionally, under federal law protection, then why should anyone believe them when they're just simply running to social media? The same thing with Candace. No one has to believe that she has an assassination attempt on her when she won't provide evidence. The receipts of these transactions from payments from the French president to Club de Sante, or tell us who the high-ranking French government employee is, or to show that FBI text message she sent, or give the name of that high-ranking FBI official, or show a confirmation of her submitting a former FBI complaint. When you can't even act in good faith and present evidence to support any of that, no one is obligated to believe you. Point blank. If I see something going wrong that is unethical and illegal in the company I work for, in my organization, and I want to shed light on it and report it, I'm going to go, at the very least, to HR, to the ethics compliance department, where they will investigate it. And if they suck at it, then I go public and show evidence that I went to HR, I went to the ethics department, they did an investigation, and they still sat and played in my face. So now I have to go public. That's how that should go. That's what I believe. Anyway, and it would make sense. It's logic. I'm not going to be scared on one end But on the other end, when it comes to social media and this so-called court of public opinion, I have all the boldness in the world, if that makes sense. So I would not agree based on the circumstances to which anyone is being fired at TPUSA. If they're being fired because they're a whistleblower, even if they went to social media first and not to the actual authorities or to the, ethics department in TPUSA, I'm assuming they have one. Even if it's compliance in HR. If they wouldn't even go that route or go straight to the FBI and try to get that protection under the Whistleblower Act, I mean, they shouldn't be fired for that because, TPUSA should not be retaliating. That would be illegal. But if these people aren't even trying to show good faith efforts that they're trying to handle it the right way, then, I'm sure as a nonprofit, they still have the right to release someone because, no, you don't have to work for a company. Certain states have, right to hire, right to fire laws. So if there's no issue regarding harassment or you're not a whistleblower or, whatever, you don't have a contract, where you are violating it if you try to leave or leave without following the contract itself, they have the right to release who they want to release overall. So it would suck if they were doing it the wrong way, but it's their company. That's kind of my thoughts on that. So I hope I answered your question. This is what I mean. Ask questions. Hopefully this question is asked in good faith, but ask questions. We have no problem answering questions. I know I don't. So shout out to you for the question. All right, let's get back to it. Jesus is waiting.
Happened with that video. And in all cases, I have always wanted to treat my channels, especially this one, with a sense of community. Now, imagine somebody going to the comments to ask a question about my body language analysis or leave an opinion of Erica, which you're absolutely entitled to, and face a literal wall of batshit crazy comments. That is an instant turn off. That is like imagining Nancy Pelosi in a baby doll. But in all cases, thanks to all of you who, in spite of the wall of batshit crazy comments, still gave your 2 cents in a civilized way. And thank you for that.
Yeah.
And yes, some of those comments were critical of Erica Kirk, and that's okay. In fact, to make things even worse, some were attacking me in the comments, telling me to leave Erica alone, which, again, I was just doing a body language analysis of her reaction. Maybe I have made my stance a bit more clear in this topic with this video. Now, standing for Erica Kirk doesn't mean that I can't make observations when I think Erica Kirk fumbles something or makes mistakes like in this video. I try to be fair most of the time, and not gonna lie, in just really 48 hours, I have blocked more people on X that I have blocked since 2020.
Good grief. What are you candy ass cult members doing to this poor man? What the hell y'all doing? He had to block people on Twitter X in 48 hours like this? You can't make this. Are you serious? This is insane. What are you all doing over there? Oh man, the idea of civility is just, like I said, is hypocrisy on steroids. They're only, civil when you're saying what they want you to say, but then you say anything to the contrary. And I don't agree with it coming from either side. Whether you support Erica Kirk or you don't go tagging somebody because, they're pointing out something and they're trying to be impartial and fair about it. Don't attack the man. I don't care which stance you take here. Don't attack him. Personally, I just ignore, the BS until there's something dumb, like a death threat or something like that. But other than that, cult members are going to be cult members, bots are bots.
Let that sink in.
Y'all over there harassing me,
yes, I block and mute people who come in bad faith or call me names or criticize me for points that I have thoroughly explained in videos or repeatedly reply to an argument with something that has nothing to do with the argument.
Exactly.
And notice that I have repeated the words bad faith many times during this video. because those words are important.
Yep.
Important in the sense that I see way too many spineless people in here not making a stand for what they think is right.
Exactly.
Some are using the word feud to name what's going on between Erica Kirk and Candace Owens, which I think is misleading. Because usually a feud means that two factions are attacking each other. And in this case, we already know where the attacks have been coming from repeatedly over the past 3 months. And I'm going to add something else to that. I'm going to tell you that the majority of Charlie Kirk murder investigators didn't give a flying fuck about Charlie Kirk while he was alive.
Oh, man. Oh, you better tell it like it is. It's just a pleasure to hear this again. I've seen this video once, but boy, does it ring true. They did not give a flying F at all. Now they want to know where a dead body is buried. And for what? Unless Charlie Kirk actually paid your bills, why would you need to know that? And then they're saying, oh, it's so gross for Erica to post up this video of her with her deceased husband in a casket. But you want to know where he is in the ground, in that casket. Make it make sense? Make it make sense. She invited people into that video. People want to know where his dead body is buried. But they can't sit here and they can't even look at evidence on a plane or ask Candace to post up, that FBI text message I'm still asking for. She can't even do the bare minimum. But they're trying to demand that Erica Kirk tell them where the body is buried. You can't make this up. It's soulless. It's soulless and heartless. You got all these soulless miscreants just roaming the earth.
In fact, so many of the people that Candace quotes on her show used to openly attack Charlie when he was alive.
Yeah.
You might ask me, do you have hard numbers about this, Jesus? Do you have something to support your claims? And I will tell you that I don't know, but I know. In fact, it was revealed to me in a dream.
Let that marinate. Just let that marinate for a minute. Oh, I love it. This is how it's done. Use Candace Owens' words against her. Because she said it first. Candace, you are bad at this, heifer. He's just simply using her words against her, because we don't know, but we know, and Candace don't know no good. and neither does, Boys Club. Boys Club stands behind the camera and let this crap happen for 3.5, 4 months. I guess this is his way of telling Candace to go make him a sandwich now. By somehow she's magically had time herself to fly out to Phoenix to face Erica Kirk face to face. Like I said last week she should do. Candace, stop stealing my damn quotes. She's bad at this. He said, we don't know, but we know, She don't know no good.
Hard numbers about this, Jesus? Do you have something to support your claims? And I will tell you that I don't know, but I know. In fact, it was revealed to me in a dream. Now, to make sure that you jump to the comments right now and call me a fed, which really wouldn't surprise me, I want to add something to this discussion, and it's Tyler Robinson. It's a recurring joke that Candace Owens has hinted at virtually everyone.
Yeah, don't you look like George a little bit? Maybe his hair is not as blonde. You see him resemble his hair. And this just clicked to me out of nowhere. It just clicked. Like he resembles. He looks a lot like Boys Club, like George Farmer. I mean, it's just, maybe it's the soulless blank stare, because this is facing evil. It's like anyone else that think they have the right to take somebody's life. Just evil and dark and sinister. Like George. You can't make this up.
Implicated in the Charlie Kirk assassination, except for Tyler Robinson. And I've gotten angry comments saying that Candace has never implied that Tyler Robinson couldn't be the shooter.
Are you
and
kidding?
yes, she absolutely has.
Receipts. Oh, shout out to Cinema Shogun. This is from her video. You know, because the Candace is always telling me to watch her shows. We do. And you still don't like it. Once again, I don't care how you feel. This is it. This is why I do closed captions. And if you go to this video, look at the transcript. All Cinema had to do was just copy and paste her words. I love it when this happens. I love when people are able to use her words against her. Because when you hear it out loud, you realize, like, man, this is just god awful. It shows how dumb Candace can be. Like, this makes no sense. Candace, you won't even tell us who this so-called FBI agent is. Like, we're still waiting on that name. You can't say somebody works for the feds and then say, we don't trust the feds, while they want to impersonate investigators of the CIA. You can't make this up.
I'm going to leave a link in the description to a 3-minute video in which she says that the story of Tyler's parents turning him in is phony, that Tyler was bewildered with the accusations, that Tyler had never set foot in the UVU campus, and that it was a stretch to believe that he could have done all that by himself.
She said it all.
That last part is the thing I also have some issues believing. I told you a few days ago that I was around 90 or 95% sure that it was Tyler Robinson. But after watching Gary Melton's awesome recaps and interviews on his Paramount Tactical channel, I have to say that my certainty that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk is now 100%, which I'm sure will break a lot of people's hearts. You will call me a fed. I told you so. That they got to me. I have never understood what does that they mean in that sense.
Yeah, because Candace speaks in third person language. We, us, our, they, them. And then, you know, every so often she goes back to referring to herself in the third person. It's insane. Candace, Judge Rennie is going to order you to a psyche eval, girl. I hope you know that is a 95% possibility. Don't fight it if it happens, Candace. Just go and do the psyche eval. It's unbelievable how she forgets that her videos are recorded, and all you have to do is press play and turn on the closed caption, and you can see the words come out of her mouth, just like when she said, "I hate everyone. We are all treasonous. We're all traitors. We're all treasonous." Who what? No, you and your coat. That's it. Maybe the box, but leave us out of it. But this is what she does. And when people use her words against her, you know, she gets mad about it. For what? And then tries to twist it up. No, this is what you said in your videos that are recorded and immortalized on YouTube. Like, you can't make this up. Thee and they and them and oh my God.
Or that I'm cashing in $7,000 checks. But well, I made this video to set the record straight. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Battle Language Guy. Much love and bliss.
Oh my God, that was epic. Brooks. That was epic. Oh, Jesus. Well done. Now, if I am agreeing with what he said in his analysis and his approach and being impartial, why is he being attacked? I get the same comments. Why you all, to the Candaces, why y'all attacking this poor man? You got some extreme diehard people that will believe whatever she says over factual information, like definitions of terms. You all realize Candace cannot recognize the difference between the number 9 and the letter N. This is what came out of her mouth, along with her being American ignorant. Like, this is insane. Shout out to Jesus. Oh my God, that was good. The body language guy. Make sure you guys go check him out, show him some support. Hit the like button. Hit the like button or kick rocks. Go throw your tantrum somewhere else. Hit the like button. All right. This is Nicholas Brooks, an attorney. This is, I think, the third video that I've shown that he's posted up. I love his analysis. He's an actual bar licensed attorney. And this is what, this is what happens when you really want to understand the law or things from a legal perspective. I turn to experts. I turn to people who went to law school or have become full-fledged attorneys, because there's a difference. So if I don't understand something, I Google it, research it, look it up. I watch videos of actual attorneys giving breakdowns, and there's several out here on YouTube that are bar licensed attorneys that can help break down these lawsuits. When it comes to anything financially related, I watch other people who have education experience in finance. For whatever I'm researching and reporting on, I'm going to make sure that I research and listen to others that are actually experts. So Nicholas has a fantastic way of, being neutral and impartial, giving his assessment, especially on the Macron lawsuit. So this is referring to the business model built on defamation for Candace Owens. I mean, we've all looked at the tax documents for BLEXIT. The end. Point taken. If I can get one of the mods to drop the link in the chat for Nick Brooks, that's his channel name. I'm gonna give him a sub. He's awesome. But make sure you drop his YouTube channel link. If I can, please get one of the mods to do that, and I will drop the video link in the chat, so that people can go back and watch themselves. Let's get to it.
A California attorney, and backed by popular demand, we're discussing Candace Owens.
He's awesome.
This time, we're not just talking about her lawsuits. We're talking about her entire business model. When you put together the Macron saga, the Erica Kirk assassination theories, and years of conspiracies about Israel, Egypt, and even the United States, does it start to look like commentary or like defamation as part of the product? Start with the scale of the Candace Owens business. Reporting estimates her company brings in up to the low to mid single-digit millions per year from a mix of YouTube, a high ad density podcast with dozens of rotating sponsors, speaking fees, merchandise, and books. In that conservative media ecosystems, advertisers pay premium rates to be in front of her audience, and outlets from Fortune to Bloomberg point out the more provocative and conspiratorial the content, the more it tends to blow up, which means more views, higher ad rates, and more money flowing through her whole operation. One example, in Delaware, Emmanuel and Bridget Macron say Owens took a debunked rumor that Bridget is secretly a man, tied it to incest and abuse of power, and turned it into a recurring Becoming Bridget arc across platforms. Their complaint does not just call it hurtful. It says she used these verifiably false and devastating claims to promote her platform, gain notoriety, and generate income, and even weaponize their retraction letters as more content. Another example, Erica Kirk. She's now on CBS saying her one-word message to Owens is stop, because Owens is making serious money while spinning multi-episode assassination and fraud narratives around Charlie's death that repeatedly drag Erica, Turning Point USA, and foreign actors into the story. Erica's concern is not abstract. She says that these theories are bleeding into how the public and potential jurors see a real murder case, the same way the Macrons say Candace's series is bleeding into how the world sees Bridget's identity. Zoom out again, and the targets get bigger. Owens has spent years accusing countries like Israel and Egypt and others, and sometimes even the United States government itself, of staging attacks, assassinations, and wars as part of hidden plots, including claims about Israel deliberately attacking American ships like the USS Liberty. These are marketed as just asking questions, but they present detailed stories about who did what and why, which pushes them towards specific factual allegations.
Let's be honest. I mean, if you're asking a question, you're asking a question. It should be very clear when you're giving a statement versus asking a question. A question is not going to have a whole lot of your opinion riddled throughout it. It's going to be a question such as, Candace Owens, when are you going to post the FBI text message you sent to this high-ranking FBI official? Especially when you don't trust the feds because you're a hypocrite. I could do that. When are you going to post this text message, Candace? Very simple. The people should know I'm asking a question. Not sitting here trying to give an affirmative allegation and then purport it as a fact with no evidence. And she still doesn't understand the definition of the word truth.
questions, but they present detailed stories about who did what and why, which pushes them towards specific factual allegations, not just, I don't like this policy. When you line up the Macrons, Erica Kirk, and the country-level conspiracies, the pattern looks like a playbook. Pick a shocking theory, attach it to real names and institutions, serialize it across shows and platforms, and let the outrage drive attention. Business coverage notes that her most controversial arcs often bring the biggest engagement and economic upside, which is why critics and the Macrons in their complaint describe these narratives as a campaign that also happens to be profitable. And quick note to Candace's followers, no one is paying me to say this. I'm not being paid by the Macrons, by Erica Kirk, by Israel, by Egypt, or any political organization to make.
It's so funny because, they can't prove it at all. No proof, no transactions, no nothing. Even when I'm asking for the evidence, they still don't render it. Candace refuses to post these so-called transactions that's flowing from the French president to Club de Sant. Somebody told her, oh, there's a paper trail. Post it up. She didn't even bother to ask for it. That's just laziness, Candace. You're lazy as hell. She didn't even bother to say, I'm not getting off this phone with you until you send me evidence on that. Otherwise, I'm going to keep that to myself, and I'm not going to repeat something like that, to which you have no proof. If you're saying there's a paper trail, it should not be that hard to show that evidence. And it shouldn't be hard for her to ask questions of this same high-ranking French government employee to get that evidence. Why is that so difficult for her to ask? But she can ask questions on other stuff. But she didn't question this so-called French government employee. This is how you know she's doing it for views, clicks, money, and subs and likes. And the candy asses and the bots come in and confirm that every single live stream I have. Because you can't make this up. They literally confirm that she's doing this for views, likes, clicks, money, and subs. Oh, she's got so much millions of dollars and it's so many followers and so many. She can get hundreds of thousands of views in a live stream. You can't. They're confirming that. And they're not even smart enough to pick up on it. You can't make this up. She's blamed any and everything on earth. I still hope Erica Kirk recorded that conversation.
These videos. I do this because I'm a California attorney who actually enjoys explaining how defamation and speech law work when massive platforms collide with real people and real nations. And if business ever comes from that for me, it's because viewers think I'm good at my job as an attorney, not because anybody bought my opinion. And if Candace Owens ever wants to test my channel in court, I invite that sweetheart, and California would be an interesting.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, Nicholas Brooks said, game on, heifer. Game on. Oh, I love it. I love it. Let me not put words in his mouth. He said, yeah, I invite that. Just like Candace said, sue me. I want subpoena power. And she can't even define how subpoena power works. Can't make this up. Yeah, okay. Candace, you're going to get what you asked for. You asked for people to sue you. Don't get mad when they do. Stop getting mad, throwing a tantrum over this lawsuit, the Macrons. They're not going to dismiss it, no matter how hard you cry. Your tantrum is not going to force them to just dismiss this lawsuit. Nope. It's time for the chickens to come home to roost. We're all here for it. Oh my God, this is epic. We got the body language guy making his stance clear because, this cult is out of control. And you have Nicholas Brooks and a whole attorney. Good luck to that, Candace.
Yeah. And if Candace Owens ever wants to test my channel in court, I invite that sweetheart, and California would be an interesting place to do it. California's anti-SLAPP law gives strong protection to speech about public figures and public issues and lets you ask for your fees if someone files a lawsuit just to shut up that speech, especially when you're accurately describing public lawsuits and major reporting. If you want more blunt breakdowns like this, please hit like. Drop a comment with whether you think this looks like sharp-edged commentary or defamation as a business model. Subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss the next update. And share this video with someone who thinks all of this is just content with no real-world consequences. Thank you very much.
This was epic. Oh, Nick Brooks. Y'all look at that smirk. Y'all look at this smirk. It's so adorable. Yes. Oh, Nick, you're just a cutie pie, honey. Look at this smirk on his face. I love it. He said, you know, I invite that challenge. You know, I welcome it. Come on. I wish you would. He said, I wish you would, Heifer. Oh, this is so good. So good. Make sure you guys go check out Nick Brooks. Yeah, you get mad that Jesus come back. Just check him out. It's so good. So good. All right, y'all. Let's get to the tax forms because we're getting late into this. So if you all recall yesterday, we checked out a video from a young lady named I don't know if she's young. Oh, I don't know how old she is. But a fellow content creator who was connected to BLEXIT. I think she was a volunteer of some sort and a part of the organization. She did a video. Her name is Kaylee, and she also did an actual quick live stream video that's on Twitter X. And she basically, you know, put the BLEXIT tax forms out there because it's a nonprofit, and was like, you know, hey, explain this 1.7 million you were in the hole when TPUSA acquired BLEXIT. You know, because the candy asses, you know, somehow forget this happened. Charlie Kirk did not have to acquire BLEXIT. The parlor deal from Boys Club, George, didn't even go through. It fell through. I think Kanye West was supposed to acquire Parlor Inc. and it fell through. Now you see why? Because here you have this company called Olympic Media LLC. Okay. That has trademarks registered underneath it. It's information we looked up yesterday from the actual registration for the LLC. And one of those trademarks is Parlor Inc. Parlor Inc., to which George Farmer owned. And ironically, he was also the treasurer of BLEXIT. So let me just pull up. I'm going to just pull up a year for the taxes. This is Olympic Media. And I'll drop the link in the chat. So we went over the one from BLEXIT. As a matter of fact, let me go back to that one first. So you all can see, for those who missed it, you know, for the people in the back. This is BLEXIT here. I'll drop the link to this chat, to this website, and I'm also going to have it in the description of the video. You know, because facts matter, and she want to sit here and talk about TPUSA not meeting a deadline for taxes when she lied about that. And then turned around and was like, oh, well, you know, someone who's, you know, understanding of IRS told me that they actually had an extension or some sort. Yeah, because that can happen. But Candace is not ignorant to that. You know why? Because she has LLCs registered in the state of Delaware. She has to do taxes herself for these LLCs, such as Candace Owens LLC, this Olympic Media LLC, making sure that when she was over BLEXIT, tax documents were being filed for BLEXIT. So you all can see here, I pulled up the year 2022, the tax return for 2022, because this is where she starts getting into the hole. And if you all can see here, BLEXIT Foundation Inc., this is the EIN number. This was tax exempt going back to October 2019. Candace resides in Tennessee. Then you see here, this is just one of the tax forms. So you can go back, and I think you can go back like 4 or 5 years, something like that. It might go back further than that. It should go back to the year it was started. So let me go down. I can show it like the first tax year. So this tax year started in 2019. So we go up to 2022 here, you can look at all the years. You can do the summary here. And then here's where you can view the filing, the schedules, which is the actual tax worksheets, the PDF file. XML is, Microsoft Excel. But you can click on whatever one version you want, and it goes into details. So here you go. So y'all saw where it was starting. It was coming into this year with a negative. BLEXIT Foundation, you see that here, reiterated, goes to some P.O. box. And this is the P.O. box she was talking about when she was hit with the Macron lawsuit. She was like, well, it goes to some P.O. box we barely check, where we use for like merchandise and blah, blah, blah. Why are you barely checking that? I mean, it's insane to think that she's barely checking a P.O. box that deals primarily with her merchandise. What if people were returning things? It's just sitting in a P.O. box. So this is the P.O. box here. Y'all see Candace here? Her name on it right here. And then we go down to where it says prior year, current year. So you have this sector here for revenue. So current year, they brought in allegedly 2.9 million in revenue. And then you have the expenses here. And you see this big gaping hole, this big dip down here for $1.7 million for their expenses. Total revenue less expenses, this is what you net out. $1.7 million in the hole. So you scroll down. Here's where it got interesting. Aside from George being listed here as a treasurer, there you go, right there. And somehow he's working 30 hours a week. Same as Candace, which was, by this point, she was with Daily Wire. And that was one of the points that the content creator Kaylee brought up in her video. 30 hours is almost a full-time work week. I mean, depending, it might be considered still full-time. 40 is the standard. But if you're saying you're working 30 hours a week, that means you're working at least 6 hours per day related to BLEXIT. That's what that means. And then George is doing the same thing as treasurer. Somehow, but her VP, Brandon Tatum, was only doing 5 hours. What kind of damn... you're supposed to be the VP where the president and the treasurer are doing 30 hours a week, allegedly, which we all know they weren't, but whatever. For the sake of argument, it's on paper, 30 hours a week. Why is the VP and director only doing 5 hours a week? This is nothing more than him checking maybe some emails for an hour, playing the role of a VP of BLEXIT. Wasn't he an officer? I mean, doesn't that indicate he had a job? He also has a YouTube channel. So he only dedicates, theoretically, 1 hour a week to BLEXIT as the VP? No logic in that. These board members, maybe, because if they only have to attend meetings, then that would explain it. But not from the VP. But the treasurer is doing the same 30 hours a week too. You can't make this up. And you don't even see his salary over here. No salary for George. Candace put hers. She put Brandon Tatum, but not your treasurer husband. It's the inconsistencies for me. It's the inconsistencies for me. So let's scroll down to these consultants that that were pointed out in Kaylee's video that we spoke on yesterday. Because it's odd that you're spending all this money for what's considered to be social media fundraising. Like consulting firms that just strictly deal with social media fundraising, like no different than platform for GoFundMe. Somehow she paid stupid money to these consulting firms. Trying to get to the actual worksheet so you all can see it for yourselves. Because, one of the candy ass is talking about, where's your evidence? I'm sorry. Just because you can't read doesn't mean it's not here. Can't make this up. So anyone can look this up. This is public information. You can go on that web projects.propublica.org and put in, BLEXIT Foundation Inc. and it'll pop right on up for you as well. So this here, optimized consulting and this social media fundraising thing. How in the world are you spending $553,000? This is just amount paid to fundraiser listed in column I. This I over here, this is the column it's referring to. This is the gross receipts from activity. So let's just go with column here. $553,694 paid to a consulting firm that does nothing more than what GoFundMe can do for you for free. Anyone can start a GoFundMe account. So if that is we looked up social media fundraising as well on yesterday. I also have a link to more information about social media fundraising, the aspects of it, what it pertains is in the description of yesterday's live stream. So feel free to Google that. They operate no differently than someone creating an account with GoFundMe. They find ways to utilize social media to raise money. And you're paying them $553,000 to do it. Then you see this here, Olympic Media. Yesterday, we pulled up the LLC for this. That's where we saw Parler Inc. is one of the trademarks registered under this LLC. So even though Parler Inc. is a separate corporate entity here, it's like a subsidiary. It falls under this LLC. And this is getting $284,404. This is for tax year 2022. So I said yesterday, we looked up the address to the Olympic Media. Turns out it goes back to a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom condo, high-rise type of, it's an apartment actually. It's classified as an apartment where the rent was $5. How often were they there? This is in a whole nother state. In Virginia. So this is how much they were getting. The LLC that is connected to George Farmer and Parler Inc. And he's already rich as hell. God. So it's like this Olympic Media LLC is kind of like a shell LLC that houses all of these various trademarks that actually connect. One of them connects to George. And I didn't see any other trademark. It was just Parler Inc. So you mean to tell me the CEO of Parler Inc., that's also the treasurer of BLEXIT during this time, registered under this LLC, Olympic Media, was getting $284,404? How does it make sense? Just so they can just raise more money on social media. It's insane. Let's get some comments in right quick. Because you can't make this up. Hold on a second. I don't know what happened with my screen. Oh, dear Lord. When did this cut out? I'm sorry. My bad. This is it right here. They just make LLCs. Hey, this goes away every time I try to put up a comment. What the heck? Oh, there you go. Every time they try to make, every time they just make LLCs, get a lot of donations, and Sir put in it in his UK bank account. I'm a simp, and that's what I gathered. Did y'all see the actual? Let me know if it was not visible the whole time I was going over this stuff. Were y'all able to see the tax forms from BLEXIT? When I click on some of these comments, it kind of goes away. Did y'all see that? Let me know. I can go back to it. Let me know. Y'all saw it? Okay. Yes, you can see it. Mark. Okay, so y'all was able to see the BLEXIT tax forms. If it walks like a fraud, talks like a fraud, it's probably George. Oh man. Boys Club is not studying anything. He doesn't care. He just doesn't care. You can't make this up as far as you got something to talk about, Karen. That's okay. Mine wasn't either until I decided to start a channel. I'm just now putting content up. Make sure you drop your channel link. What's going to see for? Oh my God. Gary says, look into those consulting firms and give it who owns those. Yeah. You can't make this stuff up. What's going to see, Star? Wow. Just wow. I know, right? Trying to get some of y'all comments in. Hey, lawyer. Parler went under BLEXIT. Yeah. Parler Inc. was registered as a trademark under this Olympic Media LLC. It fell under it. And we checked out the LLC registration information yesterday. We confirmed the address. And then we saw clear as day, Parler Inc. listed as a trademark registered under this Olympic Media LLC. You can't make this stuff up. So let's get back to this. All right. Because this is insane. So we saw where here this $284,000 was paid out to Olympic Media for tax year 2022. So okay, I said, well, let's see if the tax forms for Olympic Media matches this amount that was paid out to them. Let's see if it lines up, right? We should expect to see this magical number as revenue for Olympic Media. These are payments sent out from BLEXIT to Olympic Media. Let's see if that revenue shows up for tax year 2022. You know, because we're just asking questions. Candace, you're bad at this, girl. This is how you connect dots. All I'm really missing here is the lease agreement to see and verify if Boys Club and Candace ever stayed at that address in Arlington, Virginia. That just kind of would nail it, right? So you guys see here, this is Olympic Media. You see the Port Townsend is up state of Washington. Tax exempt since November 2016. EIN is right here. So let's scroll down to the same tax year. We're going to look at 2022. And this goes back it goes back to 2016. So you have a lot of years of, about 9 years of tax documents to look up. Now, if you notice here, they file a 990 easy. That's basically a way of saying we just file, an easy tax return for this particular LLC, which based on just what an easy tax form is, as opposed to a standard 990, it just kind of leaves me wondering if this is a shell company, if it's a shell LLC, and it's nothing more than a parent company to Parler Inc. Because Olympic was getting all this money from BLEXIT. So it makes me wonder that. So when you have this 990 EZ, that means it's saying this is not even going to be complicated or anything. So here it is right here. Is this for fiscal year ending December 2022? You see Olympic Media there. Who is the registered agent? Y'all can see here. Oh, let me go back right quick because I want to point this out. Y'all see here, net income for 2022 was already in the negative by $6,000. Might not sound like a lot, but doesn't seem like they're bringing in more than $1 million to $2 million every year either way. But you see here, net income for 2022 was a negative $6,600. So like BLEXIT, get this, just like BLEXIT, Olympic Media LLC was also in the negative. BLEXIT was in the negative by 1.7 mil. Olympic Media was in the negative by $6,000. And then, of course, you see it gets bigger and bigger. Here's 2023. Net income negative 25,564. And then you see here tax filing from last year for tax year 2024 that came back up into the positive. I wonder what happened. So they were in the negative. You guys are seeing it here. The same year, BLEXIT was in the negative. Oh, Lord. Mighty funny. When BLEXIT was acquired by TPUSA, that tax year 2024 for Olympic Media went to the positive. This is mighty ironic. That's all I'm saying. It's just ironic. So let's scroll down. Once again, I want to get to the revenue. Now, if they were paid $284,000, shouldn't you expect to see that as revenue going into Olympic Media LLC? If BLEXIT tax document says we paid this company for tax year 2022 $284,000, I should expect to match that with the revenue for Olympic Media. That's money coming into the LLC. So when you have contributions, gifts, grants, and similar amounts received at $87,000, where's the rest of the $200,000? You don't even get that revenue total down here. It's just $87,000. Y'all see this? Because you can't make this stuff up. Anybody lost so far? This is how math works. This is how accounting works in particular. So accounts payables from BLEXIT, if they had such a thing, paid out $284,000 to Olympic, which means their accounts receivable is bringing that money in. Why isn't that matching? Why is their revenue reflecting $87,000 only and not $284,000? Where is the remaining almost $200,000 here? Where's the rest of it? Let's say $197,000. Where's that $197K? Since she wants to ask questions, we're doing the same thing, Candace. This is insane. But her expenses are just skyrocket. Salaries, compensation, benefits. Y'all see that over here? $45,000. You got these professional fees, occupancy, rent, utilities. Mighty funny. That apartment was $5,394 a month. But you got occupancy, rent, utilities, and maintenance. Only $20,000 for the entire year. Y'all make this make sense. We verified that address to go to a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath apartment. That is $5,394 a month. So even if we go back, okay, let's say inflation kicked it up. That's what we saw as of yesterday in 2025. Let's say it was $4,800 in 2022, tax year 2022. This amount should still be higher. For 12 months, can somebody do the math right quick? 4,800 times 12. 4,800 times 12. Because I highly doubt it just comes up to 20,000. $4,800 times 12. Anybody can drop the math on that right quick. This is where money is going here. Where money was going from BLEXIT to, and it was supposed to be helping, urban African American communities, similar to TPUSA, except it's supposed to be focused on, I guess gearing in more young Black conservatives, right? This is starting to smell more and more. Hear me when I say this. This whole BLEXIT thing is starting to smell more and more like BLM. Since Candace wanted to go die hard on BLM and Kimberly Klacik. This Olympic Media LLC goes to some 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment where the rent was, let's say, $4,800. 4,800 times 12 is only 19,000. Plus utilities, plus maintenance. I'm highlighting it here. Let me go back. Occupancy, rent, utilities, and maintenance. Only 20 grand. I still expect this number to be higher. 12 months of rent plus utilities and maintenance. I expect this to be much higher. Because what she's saying is 19,200. And this is me rounding down for the sake of argument here. For the sake of argument, I'm rounding downward because from 2022 to 2025, rent could have easily gone up. So we're rounding down. I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt. Rent plus utilities plus maintenance. 20 grand. And that's it. You can't make this up. Oh, yeah. 57,600. There you go. Thank you. Not like that. I don't think that math works. I expected it to be high. There you go. $57,600. 4,800 times 12. 57,000. Why is this only at 20,000? George. Boys Club, can you explain this? Because this is the LLC that shielded your Parlor Inc. How do you have a luxurious apartment where I'm still rounding down? I'm knocking off $500 a month. That should have came up to just for rent only $57,600. Because I just want to make sure the math is right. $57,000. How does that happen? And you only reported $20,565. That's so specific. Printing, publications, posting, postage, shipping, 10 grand. On what? It's a social media fundraising. Everything they do should have been online. Isn't that the nature of the business? Let's go back to BLEXIT. Because I got to make sure I connect the dots. We're dotting our I's and crossing the T's. You're calling this a social media fundraising. And based on the information about social media fundraising, you're using social media, an electronic platform, to raise money. Why are you spending $10,000 on printing, publications, postage, and shipping? Why isn't the rent matching? Y'all, you just can't make this shit up. The rent doesn't even match. Man, they shortchanged 37 grand. This is crazy as hell. This is crazy. I expected them to say, hey, we paid at least the rent amount for that so-called apartment at that address. I'm just saying rent, utilities, and maintenance. It's very straightforward. This is a 990 easy form. It's not designed to be complicated. It's supposed to be very straightforward with the expenses, with the revenue, with your assets. It's supposed to be very straightforward. Explain to me what I'm getting wrong. I see, Brandy. Tell me what I'm getting wrong. Why does it go away every time I put up this photo? Can you explain to me what I'm doing wrong with this taxes? I'm just reading the numbers here. I'm literally reading what I'm seeing on paper. I'm asking questions here. If you're saying you're paying rent and occupancy and all this stuff for this address, because the company didn't operate only for 3 or 4 months a year, wouldn't you expect that this operated 12 months out the year? It's a social media fundraising. This is not a tax firm. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm asking questions. What do we get wrong? Because I'm just reading the documents. Candace hit that button. Ashley says, so glad I found y'all. Can't sleep now. Y'all got me up thinking. Hey, I'm asking what's wrong. I'm genuinely asking what's wrong. What am I reading wrong here? Because I'm just reading this. Well, just for one, only 500 square feet of residence can be used as expense for LLC. Okay, so if we take the square footage of that apartment, I'm just reading the numbers here. That's all I'm doing. I'm asking questions. So let's say, okay, it's the 500 square feet, right? I mean, I don't understand why would they need more than that then if they can only claim up to that. But okay, let's take this in. What was that address? 1881 North Nash Street. Because they do give a breakdown per square feet. So let's look at that. So $1,567 per square feet. Let's do that times 12. And ask some questions. I'm trying to find out. So can somebody do this math? $1,567. Well, no, because I mean you got to do times 500. What is that? This is 1,567 times for each square foot, right? And you can only claim up to 500. So what's 500 times 1,567? Can somebody drop that math? Yeah, I'm seriously asking you. I'm seriously asking. Because she's working at the wire too. She's doing 30 hours. Can somebody drop that math right quick? Just let me know. So if that's, I mean, if that definitely is true, then okay, we'll use that as a fair point. See, I can stand corrected. There you go. Shout out to you. Can someone do the math on this? Because that might take you to the 20. They only get 500 square feet. And this is $1,567 per square foot. What's the math on that? Oh, dear Lord, it's more. What is my math off? Let me know, Brady. My math may be off. They got the price here. We're just looking at what this is, and this is for, as of today. Let me hide the comment, so y'all can see this. Mark says $783,000. That's way more than just like a monthly rent amount. Because here's the monthly estimated rent right here. This is where I'm getting this from. This is the address here that's listed on the taxes for Olympic Media. This is what we saw yesterday. So I wanted to make sure my math is there. They only got 1,800 square feet here total. So we're getting a breakdown per square foot, how much it costs, and they only get up to 500. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're just taking that amount, multiplying it by 5, giving them the max. It seems to come out to be way more than 57,000. just let me know if my math is off. That's all I'm asking. So I want to be as accurate as possible. We asking questions. So glad to finally there are not many like this disturbing illusion. Another good one. 1498. Is that can't be it? It's 1,500 per square foot, and they claim up to 500 square feet. They better off just saying this is what we paid per month. I still don't understand how they came up with 20,000. Like, how did they come up with this number? This is for the entire year, the entire tax year, and we're looking at rent, utilities, and maintenance. They can't claim the full amount of rent, so they get to claim up to 500. So I'm trying to see. This help me with the math on that, because we're still talking about an apartment community. They didn't even take residents in. We wouldn't even known about this had we not looked at it on the LLC. This is insane. And aside from the point now, the revenue that BLEXIT said it paid to Olympic Media does not match their revenue incoming for 2022. We're looking at the same tax year. The revenue is off. The rent here for that address is so weird. So I'm seriously asking, help me do the math on that one. Let me know. If whatever the number is, if you can give me the numbers on that, please send it to me or post it up, or you can email it to me. I want to make sure, because this is, the math is not mathing. It's certainly not mathing, adding up with the revenue. I would expect that to match. There's no prohibition when it comes to this revenue. So the revenue does not match. The amount of money they're spending on the rent is still weird. And that's not including like they claim up to 500 square feet. Plus you got to add in utilities as well as maintenance. That still seems like a lowball number to me. This is what they got from BLEXIT. And they are $197,000 off in their revenue. They couldn't even be consistent with that. Because Candace, money just doesn't grow legs and walk away. We can spend it as fast as we get it, but it's not going to walk away from you either. Where's the rest of the 197? What's the rest of the money that was paid into this LLC? Because I'm like, it's about 5,000. How many square foot is with the apartment? Is that what you're asking? That's files. Because we trying to. I'm like, why wouldn't the IRS pick that up? Boys Club is supposed to be he was supposed to have been the treasurer to BLEXIT. The role of the treasurer controls the cash. They're like the bank of the company. The treasurer oversees the money that's inside this organization. He was the treasurer of BLEXIT. And an LLC that covered Parlor Inc. was receiving $284,000 for this one tax year. Stupid money. And they couldn't even translate it over to the tax documents, this 990EZ, for the revenue. We're looking at the revenues here. And even make it over here in full. The expenses, it just, man, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So let's scroll down. They got professional fees and other payments to independent contractors, $6,404, whoever they are. I mean, what other independent contractors could they possibly have? Professional fees? I mean, GoFundMe could be free. And you have over here the net assets here. And you can see the net assets of fund balances for the end of the year was $136,977. This is insane. They have the cash savings investments. land and buildings, other assets. Even if it showed up over here, it doesn't even match. It still does not explain why only 87,000 made it over as revenue. That's so crazy. Diane said apartment is near Washington, D.C. It's in Virginia. Is that close to D.C.? Anybody in that area familiar with it? Let's go to the map. Is this where she was saying? One of you all emailed me that. Somebody emailed, one of you guys emailed me saying it's this address in the DC area where she was staying during because Candace herself said she was in DC, staying in DC when January 6th happened. So that's a good question. Is this where they were staying near close to DC somewhere? It sounded like that the way she put it, she was like across the street from Congress. I'm not familiar with the area, but let's see what's on the map. There you go. Is this area near DC? Uh-oh. Does anybody know? Anybody familiar with it? Let me know. This is Arlington, Virginia. So I don't really know how far. How you zoom out of this? Oh man, it's just taking me close in. So I don't know how far this will be from DC area or even near where the January 6th event happened. I have no idea. You can't make this up. It says Arlington, Virginia. Isn't that where the military gravesite is? Like the huge military gravesite? The IRS will pick that up. You can't just say I pay XYZ LLC X dollars and XYZ doesn't show it on their revenue. Exactly. Why would they put down 87 when they paid out 284,000? And somehow, here's the ticker. TPUSA acquired BLEXIT. My question would be, were they even aware of this connection? When they acquired it, they already acquired it in the whole. Who lived in the apartment? I don't think anybody lived there, Diane. That's what I'm saying. I don't think they ever lived there. I think it was just kind of like a ghost apartment. She says she stayed in DC, and I don't know how far this is from DC. Makes sense that George was treasurer. That's how they got away with it. Exactly. When I say the treasurer controls the purse, that is not a euphemism or an understatement. You guys, if you want, you can look up the role and responsibilities of a treasurer. They control the purse in-house. I'm like, at least be consistent. If you're being paid from BLEXIT $284,000 for 2022, I would expect their taxes from Olympic Media to match what was paid to them in revenue. I expect that. It's like apples to apples here. Why put any other amount? Let me scroll down and I get to the worksheet with the revenue, because this is crazy. They didn't have any other organization here. You see none right over here. Did I pass the employees? Because they have some salaries listed. The best thing about this being a 990 easy, it's not overly complicated or long. So let's see here. Who was paid? Nothing here. No name of supported organization. Nothing supporting them. This is public support. The schedule for that. Because I'm still wondering where's the rest of that revenue. I don't even see the sheet. Did I pass the sheet with the salaries? Somebody's getting a salary. Did I pass this? Okay, let me go to the top. All right. I'm trying to find the salaries worksheet. Here we go. Here we go. So the person getting a salary is Joseph Mann, VP of Operations. And he was reported to have done 40 hours a week. And this is the 44,000. It's 44,200. How much was reported for salary is $45,580 for the salaries, other compensation, and employee benefits. 45,580 reported total. So the employee here, base salary, of course, 44,200. Reportable compensation. Where's the rest of the revenue? That lined up. It makes sense because they could have, the rest that was not reportable could be, maybe he's got some outside expenses that's not reportable. So that could be the case, or some deductions rather. Where's the rest of the revenue? Public charity status and public support. This is just saying they're exempt from the taxes here, federal taxes. Like, where's the rest of the money? You can't make this up. And this is my thing here. They get public support and donations come in from their social media fundraising. And somehow Candace had an issue with people donating to TPUSA. The hypocrisy is staggering. It makes no sense. She got upset. Yes, Northern Virginia is very expensive. Boys Club. Man, he said it could have been in pounds converted. You would think. Oh, God, that's funny. You can't make this stuff up. Virginia and DC border each other. Okay, so Arlington is close to about 13 miles. Okay, so they could have been there when they were on January 6th, but that's not their permanent residence. You're saying with this tax form that this LLC is housed at this apartment. That LLC is here. So if you're saying that this is like a company, you're running something, why use this if you know you don't live there? If you don't live there, would have been too much of a coincidence for them to just put their Tennessee residence in there. Yeah, I think it would have been glaringly obvious. But when it doesn't make sense like this, because like I said, one piece I am missing is any lease agreement signed by Candace or, Boys Club for this particular apartment. That would kind of seal it for me as far as being able to connect that last piece. Just having some lease agreement or something, or at least confirm if it does or does not exist, that they stayed at this place. And if they only had this for a LLC, that's not even reporting all of his income being paid to them from a different organization, allegedly, then it's like, what is going on with the rest of that money? And why use the shell? Why use this address? Why say that this is a place for an LLC for a company where tax statements are being filed? It's so crazy. Oh man, all this money in rent. $5,000 in rent. You can't make this up. And they can only claim up to 500 square feet of that. Why get the most expensive thing ever? It's so insane. So Candace sits here and says, oh, TPUSA shouldn't be taking in donations. But yet, that's what they were doing. They were just doing it. It was like crowdfunding. They're doing it through social media. TPUSA had people sending them money, especially after Charlie Kirk died. People have the right to send money and donate and support, especially if you're a nonprofit organization. It means you're basically operating on public support. You're operating on donations and contributions. The issue is with that $284,000, that's not a donation from BLEXIT. That is Olympic Media LLC claiming to have been some level of a consultant with some contract that's supposed to exist. Let me ensure that I'm using the correct terminology. A contract that is supposed to exist between BLEXIT and Olympic Media, to which we haven't seen that yet. I'm going to try my best to find it. That and maybe some form of a lease agreement. But there's a implied contract here where they're rendering services to BLEXIT for social media fundraising. And there's some sort of invoicing that's occurring where BLEXIT is paying this social media fundraising, Olympic Media, $284,000. They're supposed to be providing some level of service for something that's nothing more than having a GoFundMe account. And she wants to sit here and harass TPUSA for getting donations when they didn't even report all that income coming in. That's supposed to be revenue. It's supposed to be seen as revenue from providing services, not just a donation from, random people on the internet. That's a separate category. Donations and gifts is not the same thing as you getting in accounts receivables because you invoice someone for services you perform. That's how crazy this is. They couldn't even be consistent with the revenue portion. So naturally, they would have to prove that they were paid this money through whatever payment method, whether it be a wire, whether it be a check, money order, put it on George's credit card, who knows? There's supposed to be some paper trail to show that transaction, to show money was sent to them and that they deposited into some account somewhere. And they didn't even put the full amount. And they're saying we get public support, when that $284K would not be considered public support. It would be considered money from services rendered. Like a job, revenue, gross wages. Like it's similar to that. An employee getting gross wages. They didn't even do that right. But look at all this money here coming in from 2018 up until 2022 here. And this is how much they put down. So we're just asking questions, Candace. What's the rest of the 197K? Because we're seeing these numbers with our own eyes. We're seeing these taxes with our own eyes. They brought up TPUSA, but then they couldn't show how there's an easy lack in this. We can do that here. And I highly doubt Candace understands, GAAP. That's generally accepted accounting principles. It's like principles that kind of govern accounting departments in any organization, whether it be a government agency, whether it be a private organization, a nonprofit organization. Generally accepted accounting principles kind of help define how companies should operate when it comes to their, accounting, accounts payables, accounts receivables, their cash flow, documenting revenues and expenses, doing audits. All of that flows primarily from your accounting department. This is crazy. Who was over the accounting department at BLEXIT? Candace, why the hell you put George down as treasurer? Why would you do that? That means anyone that was AP or AR that worked in accounts payables or receivables would have been reporting to George Farmer because he's the treasurer. You can't make this up. He controlled the purse. And anybody can fact check me on accounting. You can look up that information. It's out there. This is crazy. And I'm not seeing any other revenue coming in. The rest they put down is public donations. Why? You can't make this up. Why do that? $87,000. That's it. Donations. It's like, Umar, this is crazy. So I wanted you all to see this, to show this information out. You guys are more than welcome. Let me put the link to Olympic Media. And like I said, correct me if I'm wrong with this, because I'm not a tax expert. But please correct me if I'm wrong. So LLC for rent, 500 square feet would be $1,330 a month and $15,960 a year. Okay, cool. Cool beans. Because that's math. I can accept that. So the 20,000, 15,000 in just the rent, and then 20,000. They're basically saying the rest of the 500, which still doesn't sound right to me, would come from the utilities and the maintenance. And I don't know about you all, but I don't have any utilities where I'm only paying $500 a year. So they're saying $15,960 is all they could claim. And there's $20,000 listed for apartment rent, for the rent, utilities, and maintenance, and occupancy. Right here. So if they're saying that the rest of the difference between the 20 grand here and that 19,000, or that 15,000 rather, the rest of that would just be utilities and maintenance, I would love to know who the hell their water bill company is, the electric company. It don't look like there's any gas in that apartment. So let's say water bill, electric bill, maybe some rental insurance. They don't have any grass to cut or anything. This is an apartment community, so they can just put in a work order. The rest of that 500 is utilities and maintenance, when they couldn't even report the full revenue. We're just asking questions, Candace. We're just asking questions. So, in the meantime, you guys come across any other information, tomorrow I'm going to do the other LLC. There's 2 listed on here from BLEXIT, where he was getting all this stupid money. Optimized Consulting, going straight to a P.O. box in Austin, Texas. We'll look at that LLC tax documents. I would assume this is a nonprofit as well, because reasons. So we'll look at their tax documents tomorrow and compare it to BLEXIT, because this right here is absurd. $553,000 for social media fundraising, you all. Not for fixing, AC and wiring cable or anything like that. For just social media fundraising. And shout out to Kaylee who put this video out. And we checked that out yesterday. Because this money doesn't make sense, especially when it's not showing up on these LLC's tax statements as revenue. You can't, not even half that amount. Candace, we're asking questions. Explain yourself, you and George. At some point, she's going to take a hint and go make him a sandwich. What does Olympic Media get out of not showing the correct revenue? There's no write-off or anything. It's a 501c3. Exactly. The fact that they're tax exempt, tax exempt for federal taxes is beyond me. So they technically wouldn't have anything to lose if they at least tried to keep it consistent, right? It would not raise a red flag. But I'm curious as to why it didn't set off an alarm with the IRS. Once again, though, nonprofits they're not required to file they're required, you can file, but they're not required to pay any federal taxes. So there's no penalty, I guess, if they're just putting out random numbers, I guess. Because look what's happening. George controlled the purse at BLEXIT. He was the treasurer. And he had this money, according to BLEXIT tax documents going to this LLC that covered the trademark for Parlor Inc. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And Parlor Inc., correct me if I'm wrong, was another internet-based website, right? It was sort of like a Rumble or something like that. What was Parlor Inc.? They're just another platform, like a social media platform. Yeah, I ain't keep up with this clown. You can't make this up. And Kanye didn't buy it. Makes you wonder why that deal fell through. Makes you wonder, huh? This is from factually.co because Candace doesn't like Wikipedia. Has George Farmer been linked to any controversies or investigations? Oh, look. Look at this, y'all. Kind of sums up what I've been saying for the last 45 minutes. George Farmer has been connected in reporting to controversies, chiefly tied to his leadership roles in Parler and TPUK, and to accusations circulating online about sexual misconduct. Major profiles note Parler's association with January 6 organizing and Farmer's role as Parler CEO, while some online sources reports accusations of SA by at least one man, but those claims appear in secondary or archival summaries rather than in major profiles provided here. George, you have some problems going on over there. You can't make this up. Family privilege and political network shape perception, because it does. Connection to TP and GB News. He was the treasurer at BLEXIT. He worked for TPUK. TPUSA acquired BLEXIT, where he was the treasurer, and then was paying a LLC stupid money as a social media fundraiser that housed the Parler Inc. trademark. Yeah, that's some controversy, all right. George, what the hell are you doing? I told y'all, this man does not care at all what the hell Candace does. Because if you just dig a little deeper, you might find out he's just as bad, if not worse. It just sounds to me, George, you over here aiding in all this buffoonery, letting her go all over the place for 3.5, 4 months about Charlie Kirk. And his stuff like this never comes up about the revenue and stuff going into this LLC. I don't understand why, no one did anyone bring this up previously. That's what I'm asking. There's a reason why this BLEXIT acquisition with Kanye West did not fall through. There's a reason why. I'm gonna look it up. Why didn't Kanye West Parler Inc. Kanye West deal? And just put that in to see what happens. Let's share this. Make sure you guys can see it over here. There we go. Parler says Kanye West is no longer buying the social network. I wonder why. I wonder why, George. Because I'm going to tell you this. One thing I can't say about Kanye West is, he makes a lot of money from his businesses. Why didn't Kanye West pick up Parler Inc.? Why didn't he do it? BLEXIT went to TPUSA. Candace always, obsessing over Kanye West. Somehow that's, it's the only important person on earth. Okay. But yet, Kanye West did not purchase or acquire Parler Inc., where George was the CEO. Makes you wonder why, huh? I mean, he just did. He was like, nope. Ye will no longer buy a social media website and Twitter alternative Parler. So it was like Twitter. Okay, gotcha. Marking the latest business partnerships to dissolve in the wake of his anti-Semitic comments. The proposed deal was called off in the interest of both parties in mid-November, according to a Thursday tweet from Parler parent company Parliament Technologies. Is that real, George? Because it sounds like these LLCs are just popping up out of nowhere. Candace said herself, I have LLCs that are registered in Delaware, plural. She said LLCs, that's plural. And I, of course, now we see it was definitely more than two. More than Candace Owens LLC and George Tommy. She said it herself. She has LLCs registered in Delaware. So this is yet another LLC, Candace. You know, that you somehow managed to keep, I guess, the money flowing within the family. They created this conflict. George should have never been treasurer over there at BLEXIT. If they knew that this Olympic media was going to house a trademark connected to Parler. Why? Why do that? No rhyme or reason. So they called it off. I think it has something else to do with some things that, you know, you can't make this up. Oh my God. I'm still doing math. I know, right? Kanye business savvy, I think, right? Yeah, I can say that. I think I can say he. I mean, look, you know, the deal with Adidas, was it Adidas? You know, even though his shoes are ugly, people still bought them. And you know, we could say primary because it was Kanye West, and somehow, you know, he's another one people put on the pedestal. But he was, I mean, just anti-Semitic remarks, comments. That can't be the only reason why he decided I'm not buying Parler. But Candace Owens is just gonna dote on him like that's her closest friend in the whole wide world. But never said exactly why he would not pick up Parler Inc. TPUSA picked up BLEXIT, even though they were in the hole. Kanye West said, hell no. Take that on somewhere else. You might want to take that back over the water somewhere. Boys Club. We're not doing it over here. Yeah, when they're not reporting the revenue they're getting paid, yeah, it's fishy. It's so fishy. Listen here. We got more that we're going to uncover. We're doing the other LLC tomorrow. So make sure you all tune in because this is something else and you just can't make this stuff up. So, we got questions, Candace. We got a lot of questions. Yeah, this is why the Candy ass cult members and bots hate my guts. You can't make this up. This is priceless. Why lie? You know, Candace, it's the little lies for me. It's the little lies for me that become mountain lies. And then, you know, it's planetary size lies. And then next thing you know, you're in a different galaxy with your lies. You keep lying and it stacks up and adds up. Y'all sitting here lying about omission. See, all these things we can say about her and George. Lying about omission. Not sitting here saying that these LLCs are somehow connected, going back to George, Parler Inc. Boys Club has got a lot of explaining to do, which they would never will. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. Let's get some supers in right quick. I got some supers. Thank y'all so much. Shout out to Jackie Blue for the $9.99 super. I owe you for all the laughs and wise words. Oh, oh, thank you so much. I listen as I go to bed, and it's a joy. Seeing so much evil stresses the soul. It does, and the mind and body and spirit and everything else in between. It can stress you out. So don't let it. And then shout out to JH for this information regarding coordinates and how, you know, they're written out and how to read them, how to read coordinates. And then here's the link. This was for, I think, the video for Jesus, and then you had the link for Nicholas Brooks. So we got in a lot of information tonight. Hopefully you guys go out and further research. Thank you for shout out to Brandy and his files for the math and for explaining the rent. Because we're all learning here. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for making sure that we stay factual with that. And it explains the 20 grand, even though the utilities and that maintenance still is shocking. But it does make sense with the 15,000. So there you go. I'm gonna report it straight as it's written down on the paper. And I appreciate you guys for chiming in and for engaging in the chat and sharing information, sharing your knowledge. The point is for you all to walk away learning something. And I learned from you all, and I appreciate that. So tune in tomorrow where we're going to go over the other LLC and the tax forms there. And I appreciate you guys. Hit the like button and share these videos. Share them. We're trying to grow. Still trying to hit 30,000 supporters. We'll get there. And until the next one, you guys have a good night. Lady Luck Club out. Deuces.